The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, May 25th, 2022, and this sports show shall begin right now. Yeah. Can't thank you enough for joining us, and although we are a sports show, we would be absolutely terrible, despicable humans if we did not address what has happened in Uvalde, Texas just yesterday. What happened yesterday is despicable. What happened yesterday is incredibly sad. What happened yesterday is incredibly tragic. And although I am not a person that has the answers and nobody in this studio is, we all are on the side of common sense happening and this not becoming a reoccurring occurrence in the world that we currently live in, which is what it kind of feels like every once in a while. You know, last week it was a grocery store. This week it's an elementary school. 19 children lost their life in the country that we call home. In this studio, I know there's an international audience. We are obviously grieving with all of the families. And although I know people get all very pissed off, and whenever you say nothing but positive thoughts and prayers and good vibes, and people say, well, that's not enough, they come after you. It's like, I don't know what else we can necessarily do from where we are. I hope that we could be a distraction for some of the people that may be going through some of these terrible times. I'm not 100% sure if that is our proper role on this day or not, but we will try to do everything we can like we do every single day throughout a lot of things that we do not necessarily enjoy the fact that we are alive while they are happening. This show has always tried to be the distraction on the screen, the mental vacation, the getaway, and that is what we will continue to try to do today, although what happened yesterday is incredibly sad and goes against everything I think this country is about. We will try to do our thing to distract and to not distract from the main goal, but distract you from any grievance or negative thoughts and be hopefully a little bit of a getaway, a little bit of a, okay, there is sports that are still happening. Okay, there is a place where I'm allowed to laugh and be comfortable, although not necessarily everything is fantastic and perfect everywhere. That is what we'll try to do today. We've got a lot of great guests joining us. Emmy Award-winning Peter Schrager will be here today.
Hey,
just won an Emmy last night.
Unreal.
How about it? Steve Keim, general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, will be here in the third hour.
Here we go.
There's some big conversations to be had with the Arizona Cardinals and their quarterback and everything they got going on. I think he's currently at league meetings or maybe on his way out of league meetings that are happening currently where Roger Goodell is saying things that are making headline news. For instance, Pro Bowl needs change. That thing stinks. Yep. We've dived into a couple different ways we think we can make it better, how it could be better. I thought more about it last night on some vitamins. Traveled to Illinois where it's legal, came back on some vitamins. Started thinking about the Pro Bowl. Think we have that figured out. A lot of people do. But is he placing onus on the NFL or ESPN? Because ESPN is the network home of the Pro Bowl. They're the ones that run like I believe the show, the night
production
before,
and everything. Yeah.
They're the ones that created the quarterback carnival, the thing. So did Roger Goodell say, hey, what they're doing with Pro Bowl we need to make better? Or is that an NFL decision to say, hey, we're not doing a game anymore, just all skills challenge, take it however you want? Because if you get some creative people and you put up actual prizes and then money to charity, I think you can garner and create some great content. But what they're going to say to that is the Pro Bowl game stinks. Worst brand of football on earth.
Yes.
Gets more viewers than the Golden State Warriors and Dallas Mavericks last night.
Very interesting.
That's what they'll say.
Right.
Hey, it stinks. We all think it stinks. Actually, it's maybe the only thing of the year that our fans hate watch.
Yeah.
They hate watch it just so you can tweet about how fucking bad it is. This isn't shit TV that people do that to. Reality TV, people watch along just to hate it and bash it online. There's content on the internet that people watch just so they can bash it online.
Oh, yeah.
The NFL is like, our Pro Bowl is our hate watch thing. Yeah, and it gets a lot of viewers. People bury it every single year. And I'm going to come out here and say, gotta get better. You know, it's got to get better. And what are they actually going to do next year? Probably something similar to what they've done in the past.
Yep.
Because we're all going to watch because the NFL knows that we love the sport.
We do.
We love the program that they're running. And if they do make changes to make it a more, fulfilling experience, not only for the players, but for the fans, to celebrate the players that carry the league year in and year out to the record ratings that they're at. I think everybody would be pumped. Hopefully Goodell allows that to happen. Hopefully the NFL allows that to happen. And we can't wait to watch. So we'll talk to Schrags about that. We'll talk to Steve Keim about what he thinks about the rules. Is there any rules changing at the league meetings?
I don't know. Rap Sheet mentioned a couple,
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. We'll talk to him how his life changes. And are they going to sign Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
The Toxic Table is here. At Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. The boys in the back are here. Join us now, man, that will bring the happiness.
Yeah, here we go. And
will bring the good mood. Because this guy is now an Emmy winner.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, host of Good Morning Football, the Emmy award-winning Good Morning Football on NFL Network, Peter Schrager. That's King. Standing O, Peter, from everybody. Wow, hey, you did it, hey!
Hey, you did it, Pete!
Hey, you won the Emmy, hey! All those years, all that hard work.
Right here.
Here we go now, huh, Peter? Hey, how about, Peter Schrager won it, but how about Michael Davies?
Oh, yeah!
Michael Davies just a couple years ago put a show on air with no sound for 35 minutes.
right.
Now he is an award-winning producer. Good Morning Football. Hey, how about Kyle Brand?
Hey,
Kyle, Kay, Nate, everybody that's been the 50 producer. Here we go. Let's go, Schrags.
The baby Shrakes.
Yo, thank you guys. Love all of you.
Oh, you were boozing last night. Listen to this
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Oh, it was a celebration last night. We won the Emmys.
We went after it. We've been nominated 4 times. We finally won for Best Daily Show. Listen to this. Now,
That would be.
you guys, I guess you weren't in the right. I don't know how they categorize you guys because I feel like this is the most popular show going right now.
No, Schrags, this is about you. This is not about us. This isn't about anybody. This is about
Listen to
Peter
who we
Schrager.
beat. And I say this beat because it's all subjective. We beat PTI, which is a show that I think we're all kind of drifting off of. That's the show
Well,
that
not
we
me,
all
but yeah.
watched and we're like, that's the debate show.
Yep.
Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen.
Now that's the
The NASCAR Race Hub, which is good if you're a
Great show.
NASCAR fan. It's
Love
awesome.
it. 180,000 viewers.
Bobby LeBon.
Love that show.
Yeah.
Good show.
Love
Yes.
it. And then Sports Center, which is fucking Sports Center. So that we won, it was really cool. And all seriousness, I'm not kidding because I watched the start of your show, Pat, and it's yesterday was one of the darkest days that I've had in a long time with what was going down. And we get to that Sports Emmys, and I don't think anyone in the room was really down to celebrate high achievement in sports editing or here's great audio. It was a low mood. There's so many people that work on our show every single day that put in so much work, and for a brief moment, it was cool to get recognized with Scott Van Pelt's in the room and Mike Tirico and Leslie Visser and everyone's clapping for you. We don't want to take away from what's really at hand here, but you said it. Our show, like yours, is a brief distraction or something of joy that you can shut your brain off, get in our little world. We're silly, we're stupid, we have a blast, we talk ball, but at no point do we think that that's the only thing going on. But if we can bring a moment of joy to people on days like today, hell yeah, that's cool. To be recognized for it, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Schrags.
Hell yeah.
And by the way, I think that's why we like your show so much, because it is just a distraction. And obviously, this was everybody that was there last night, and there's many others. I think you gave credit for. I think 50 producers and everybody that's been around. You tried to share the love. And behind the scenes, that's a massive deal, right? Winning a sports Emmy, resume, you too. It's a big
cool.
fucking deal, right?
It's cool. I think the moment in the room was cool. No joke. We got up there and it's Fred Godelli, who produces Sunday Night Football's there. And it's oh, I guess he has to at least acknowledge that our, Chris Collinsworth won right before us. Tirico won after us. And it's we're in the same conversation. So, to be there in person and to get that, to me, that's the cool thing. Resume and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, sure. It's all subjective. I don't know if the next Spider-Man is winning off of their Oscars, but you know what I mean. It's cool to be recognized by the old school and also like the traditional, like legit. Here, Holly Rowe's in the room and we're winning, and it's like, come on, like Holly Rowe has to acknowledge that we exist. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Good Morning Football, I think you guys have tried to not be the traditional show, and I think that is why it has had so much success. Whenever you guys have one member leave, and then you all go to your houses and just go, what's going on? Is this all summer long? Are you guys going from $4 all summer long? Are you guys trying to figure?
I think it's a couple more weeks. Basically, they were like, let's go remote. Let's shut it down for a little bit, make it a little easier lift on everybody as opposed to the 4 a.m. wake up. And also, let's save some cost. It's cheaper to do the shows remote. And I know the NFL is hurting for money. So let's really save some costs and then maybe use that elsewhere. But I'm not complaining, dude. We were out till like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Hell yeah.
And then usually I'd have to be up at 4 in the morning. And today I kind of like rolled out of bed at 5 a.m. They're like, all right, are you confident in Tua? I'm like, I don't give a shit, guys.
We are, though, by the way. We are confident.
Yeah, so.
We do love Tua. We're very happy for Tua. We're very happy for you, though, honestly. We understand, how awesome that had to feel. Kyle Brandt cut a promo this morning.
Yeah. Great one.
You guys have revolutionized the morning sports conversation, and I think you deserve to be applauded. So congrats to you.
Man, that's so cool.
Yeah, no
I'll
problem.
say, and like to all you guys, and you guys, I've been there in person, and I've told you all directly, but not only do we feed off your energy and you guys raise the bar for us, but I'll say this: the interviews that you're getting on a day-to-day basis, forget wow, who got the content that you're creating that we can kind of drift off of and we can react off of. And forget Rogers, that's weekly. We'll talk about your interviews with him, but all of the guests, and whether it's a Tom Telesco or a Brandon Bean, like that'll carry our next day's show because it's so important in the offseason to have content. And you guys as a show, not just you, Pat, you guys as a show ask questions that not everybody asks, and you get stuff out of guests that no one else does. So it's so appreciated for us just as content creators to have you guys doing what you're doing and not having maybe the
Enough.
executives
Okay, we get it.
down your back.
We're thankful. We're very thankful. We appreciate that. Thank you for your love, Schrager.
Thank you, Schrager.
We're lucky to add to the sports media world. We do feel that way. And when things go, we feel as if we have, benefited everybody in the sports universe. When you think about the future of Good Morning Football, last night was a celebration of what?
Yeah.
The last chapter.
Yesteryear.
It was yesteryear, almost. When you think about the future, Schrags, and I know you're an insider for Fox on Sundays, and you don't, necessarily love putting the insider cap on, but you are an insider. What's going to happen with Good Morning Football?
Yeah.
I know. So we're down 2 hosts right now. Nate got an Emmy last night too. He won for best personality on air. Like, he won an individual award, and we were so excited to celebrate with him, but he had already left by the time we won. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate that.
Wow.
That's why I wasn't.
Well, he's got a morning show, big day.
Yeah,
Hey,
true.
today was probably a lot.
Actually, all jokes aside, yeah, he probably did have a...
Dude, hey, the first day he left Good Morning Football and he went to that morning show, we had it on. It was his first hit, and it was like, I think terrorists were playing bumper
Stuff with the
cars.
Taliban, yeah.
Kabul airport.
Yeah, in the air, like that's what he was talking about. We're like, holy hell, what a transition from toe drag swag to the terrorists have taken over the Kabul airport. It's like, holy shit, what a move. The fact that he still does sports, I think, is good for us, obviously, but probably good for his sanity as well, if I had to guess.
I think so, and he's got a lot of range, and he's a good dude. But like, he also does the Nickelodeon, so you get both of that stuff. He gets like this silly, goofy, like I'm slime stuff, but we haven't filled that chair, and we actually found it to be quite refreshing to get a variety of players coming in and tipping their hat. And like today, when we won the Emmy, I'm like, this isn't like just like Michael Robinson, D'Angelo Hall, Chris Carter, Sean O'Hara, like the list goes on. We've had so many ex-players, and I kind of like it because I riff off the ex-player a little bit, and I get different stories each week, and I get different perspectives. And not that Nate's stories got old, but at the end of 4 years, no. He and I could finish each other's sentences. So now it's like you have a guy who I don't know the stories that this player is going to tell. I don't know where he's going to take this, and I think it's kind of cool for us. As for Kay's chair, that's going to be an interesting one to fill. She's done. She's moving on, and we've got to find a host that's going to be a full-time host. And I would think that there's going to be a long line of people who would want that. Those are massive shoes to fill. But I don't know where they're going for that, and I don't play coach or GM, and I'm just going to sit back and if they ask my opinion, I'll give it. But for now, I trust the executives to hire someone who's going to take care of that hosting job.
What if they're like the Packers for like 17 years and they're like, Schrager's and Brandt's opinion does not matter?
Not at all. Don't need it.
I mean, they're the ones that are going to have the conversations. They're the ones that are going to have to throw the football to this person
right.
and break the huddle
Yep.
with this person. We don't want your opinion. Shut up. Just play.
I hope that's not the case.
I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, we
I mean,
really
if that, you guys need to cover that if that's happening. If you guys,
It's not. They've already done that.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
give his
Hey,
opinion.
listen, you know,
It's not the case. But I will tell you honestly, like I don't have a name for you that I could like break here on the show. Come on. But I'm excited to see, just as you guys are. I'm confident in this. You know, I'm going to name drop here, but I talked to Kingsbury this morning, and he called me, and he's like, this is like, you guys got this award, but like, you just, you know, if anything, that should motivate both you and Kyle that you're still on that show, and you know, you won the award, but like, there's going to be a next chapter, and like, let's kick ass next year. And it got me kind of fired up. I'm like, all right, it's a new challenge, and I think we all need that professionally, a new challenge, and we're excited to tackle it, whatever it is.
you guys just took a trip into the team meeting room there with the Cardinals. Sounds like this is the way Cliff motivates. Hey, here we
Cliff
go.
got me fired up this
Yeah,
morning.
absolutely. About to run through a wall. I mean, you got 2 hours of sleep or whatever out there boozing, celebrating, doing what you got to do, and then you don't care about Tua on the NFL Network. Wow. Don't get content. That's what Cliff Kingsbury said. You do. You do care about Tua. Come on now. You got to carry the torch of the Emmy-winning show now. You and
Tell you
Kyle.
what, though, I did have a good take. I was basically like, I think Daniel's really good with quarterbacks. I was trying to be cool earlier. Like, I had a good Tua take.
There we go. Hey, there we go.
Baby Shrek.
There we go,
Still-
Shrek.
still got it. Of course you did.
You had that one locked in already.
Yeah.
You had that one locked in. That producer
Sounds
should have
right.
already known that was taking place. We're talking to Steve Keim today. Third hour.
Oh, that's my dude. That's my dude.
I've never met him. I've only talked
Oh.
to him via text. I can't wait.
He's the man. Couple little things for your interview with Keim if you want. He and Blake Shelton are really tight, and they've got great stories. Keim spent time on the Blake Shelton tour bus, went on tour with Shelton, and they've got some stories. And B, I would say Keim's got some cool stories about his playing days. Yes, he was a player briefly in NFL training camps and bounced around a little bit, but he's like the pride of York, Pennsylvania. He is all good, Western PA, like the man.
All right. Fucking thank you for that. The boys have some questions. Is that okay?
Let's go.
What do you mean he went on tour? Was he singing with Blake Shelton, playing a musical instrument?
Traveling with the band
Like a roadie?
a little bit.
Steve.
I don't think I understand what you're saying. He had his own bus. He was driving with the team. He was flying with the band.
Blake Shelton went on tour a couple summers ago and said, "Why don't you hang out with and see a show?" And they went to like 4 different cities, and Keim was on the crew.
All time. What a weapon.
That had to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Good for
Let me
him.
carry a speaker.
I don't know if that's Blake Shelton. What you guys just
Some
said.
beach.
Is
yeah,
that-
it is, I think.
No.
Flip me the bird, and then I'm gone.
Some beach.
I think
Yeah,
that's
it is.
Blake Shelton.
I like
Yeah.
Old Red.
Old Red, great song. Love got me in here. Love got me out. How about that dog? Huh? That dog just wanted to make babies. Yeah.
White dog.
Now there's long hair and blue hair, all in the South. Love got me in here and love got me out. That is an absolute hitter.
Play it.
Look, I found my wife with another man, and it cost me 99 on a prison farm in Georgia, close to the Florida line. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Anyways, his wife cheated on him. He fucking killed him. Went to jail.
Sure. Yeah.
Took him a couple years.
Okay.
Made the warden his friend. Okay, so he sentenced him to a life of ease, taking care of Old Red, which was his dog.
Shawshank Redemption.
Now, Old Red was the damnedest dog that he'd ever seen.
Okay.
He was a something hound. He was a 4-legged hunting machine. So people would escape, but they could never outrun Red.
Send Red after him.
Red would always go get him. So Blake, in the song, made the warden his friend, took care of Red, the dog. Got a friend to bring another dog. Okay? Old Red would go fuck said dog, have a good time, come back, did this numerous times. So then one night, Blake set up the dog to go that way to go fuck somebody, went the opposite direction.
And ran.
He's out of jail. Love got me in here. Love me.
That's awesome.
Old Red.
Old Red's the fucking damnedest dog I've ever seen.
Hell yeah.
Ain't a horny
Dude, that
son
was
of a
awesome, Pat.
Ain't
That
a
was
horny
good.
son
That
of a
was
bitch.
good.
Squirrel like a rabbit.
What's that, Shrakes?
That was good, man.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, there's no executives here, so I can just kind of.
No suits.
Yeah, there's no suits, so we can kind of do whatever we got to do. But yeah, it's a good song. Good song.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Red though, you can get through the swamp in the wet sand. I forget all of it, but he
gets you.
Quicksand. Yeah, fucking Red will get you. Anyways, Ty, your question for Shrakes.
Shrakes, any movement on Flying Coach season 2?
Okay.
I mean, I know you haven't really. You said that might just be kind of a one and done thing, but I got to tell you, man, in these dog days of summer, a season 2 of Flying Coach would be very nice.
I begged him, and I won't do it without McVay. I begged him. He's just out. He's like, he's hit the wall from doing like interviews and he's like, I'm gonna just enjoy this offseason. He's getting married this offseason. He's got his honeymoon. He's like, we'll pick it up another offseason. But I'm upset. I love doing it, and ironically, the guys that got hired would have been so good. Like McDaniel's such a character. You guys had him on. Like we both get along well with him. We both get on well with O'Connell. Hackett's a character. Like all these new coaches. Sean and I would have had a good time with it, and we talked about it, but it's his decision. He's saying no, and it's our
Amazon
loss,
offered him $20 million.
I totally get it.
How much are you going to have to pay him to host a show on Spotify? Now he knows what his value is potentially in the booth. He's like, yeah, definitely do another one. Spotify, $15 million.
He did it for free last year. So I don't think
that ain't happening again.
Super Bowl champ now.
I mean, if you're good at it.
He's great though. He's got something waiting on him if he wants it. And he knows that, right? Isn't that going to tempt him like 3-4 years? Every offseason it's going to tempt him, isn't it?
Yes. I think it might tempt him in a month when he's bored and he's like, wait, what am I doing? I got to do this all over again? Yeah, no, he's really good at it and he liked it. So he'll have opportunities. And you see some of these numbers that these guys are getting, like, trust me, he's aware.
Let's go.
Somebody might offer him like fucking $50 million.
Yeah. After that Brady contract?
And he's going to be like, no, I need to watch more film, actually. I got to go drop this play. Well, you're 37. You could technically do this for like 15 years if you wanted. And guess what? Still go back.
Coaching's still there.
Can I tell you, he was in New York last Monday. We got together, and Stafford was in town. I never hung with Stafford, and 3 of us got together briefly before they did stuff for like the ABC. Like the 2 of them, it's like they were the perfect marriage. They get along so well, and we got together, and I thought like, all right, here we go. Like they just were talking ball, and it was like stuff that I don't understand. Like route combinations and telling stories about like what Cooper Kupp did in this game and that game, and I'm like, I don't know if there's a better coach and quarterback bond. They speak the same language, they're the same age, and it's like 2 best friends going to battle every day, and then you add in all the other talent on that team. Like they're not going away anytime soon as long as those 2 are together.
Do they did they show up together or did Stafford show up late?
No, they showed up together. They rolled together.
Because I was
Did Stafford come late to your show or
No,
something?
no, never. Stafford's never been on this show, and we had like
come on.
one of his closest friends, I guess, pretty close to our business there for like 2 years. Stafford never came on. No big deal. And also the PR person for the Rams is a stooge. Nonetheless, I said that because you're on. Yeah, you had to hear that. Yeah, that's how we feel.
Get McVay.
Yeah, anyways, don't need McVay on the show. We're done with it. But McVay and Stafford, they fooled that, you think, into hug when they see each other?
Into the hug, into the whole thing. Look, They also were in this like Top Gun commercial, which I was cringing when they told me they were doing this. I was like, this is going to be the corniest thing. Please don't do this. And then I saw it and I was like, it's kind of cool. I'm like,
yes, it's definitely cool.
Yeah, kidding me?
Dude, Stafford has to love that he's in LA. How happy are they that they're in LA right now?
Stafford is so happy, and he does nothing against Detroit. It's just like it's everything he possibly could have wanted, and it happened. And then he's raising a young family, and like they live in LA, and he's happy. Like he's cool. He's good.
Well, they might go back to Detroit. Kelly Stafford said that on a radio interview.
Did she?
Yeah, it was for a charity event they were doing, and it
was in Detroit.
It was in Detroit. Good pop, good local pop.
Sure.
Yeah, hey, I love the Staffords. I'm a big fan. I'm happy it's all working out for him. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Pete, you're tied in with all the GMs in the NFL. Now that Shanahan said Jimmy G's getting traded once he recovers from his shoulder surgery, where the hell's he going? Because I know you know.
I don't have a team. I don't have a market for him. I think like even Kyle, when he said that, was like he'll get traded eventually, but the shoulder surgery kind of put things on pause. I don't think they knew that he was getting that shoulder surgery when he did, and it was right at the combine when sort of the trades start happening, and that kind of stopped the market, and it really puts them in a bind. They're too smart, too savvy to trade him for 20 cents on the dollar. But right now, there is no market that I know of teams banging down the door for Jimmy G. Maybe training camp if there's an injury or something, but gosh, you're trading for a guy you haven't seen him throw a football, and it's a $25 million payday and a price tag. So I don't know what the market was. I've been saying this since free agency, by the way, when everyone's like, oh, you can't keep them both. They're both there still, and we're heading towards June.
When's he going to be throwing again?
The hope is by early July he's throwing again. But even then, like, what does that mean? I don't know.
Instagram clips.
Yeah, he'll get picked up right away.
Probably be shirtless with his gabagool Subway.
Yeah. His grandma.
Maybe throw the Subway like Happy Gilmore with the
Yeah.
golf.
Now we're
Throws
talking.
the sub into somebody's mouth, 30, 40 yards down the field. Who wants the gabagool?
Yeah, sign that guy.
Boom. Trades on
Yeah.
the table right there.
As long as he doesn't
a great
throw
idea.
fucking-
And it-
Here we
Great
go.
commercial.
Thank you. The Niners should maybe do it if they want to trade him.
Yeah.
It sounds like Shanahan does, though, right? Doesn't it?
Well, they've been pretty candid, and like even John Lynch was on with me at the combine and was like, "We're going to do what's right for Jimmy and for us, but you don't trade Jimmy Garoppolo as a starting quarterback in the NFL for a 2028 seventh round pick. Like you got to get something back in return." And I don't know if you look at Carolina and you say, "Okay, well that's a good fit, right?" Because it's Carolina's not offering anything right now. Like they're not just going to trade him for 20 cents on the dollar.
So Carolina's pumped with who they have then, huh? Is that Matt Corral's gig down there, you think?
No, I think it's Sam Darnold's. I wouldn't close the door on Baker yet, though.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
a
we
good-
still got some time to-
Oh, really?
Walker.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Cleveland
it's
just has
there's
to
a
pay,
chance
right?
say, hey, let the best man win here. But I think it's Darnold's for now, and Corral's number 2.
Cleveland has to pay the salary, though. That's what everybody's saying, right?
That's what I think would be the arrangement there, or at least the majority of it. But Carolina hasn't expressed any interest yet. It just makes too much sense. Them or Seattle for Baker. I don't know. Seattle seems to be happy with Drew Lock and Geno Smith at the moment, which I'm not going to question that, but it seems like Baker would be an upgrade from both of those guys.
Whoa.
Peter.
Well, I don't know who we're woeing, I guess. Because we woed, that's kind of a shot at Baker, I guess. And then since we woed,
true.
kind of a shot at Drew Lock and Geno
Geno.
Smith.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And we respect West Virginia here. I know that.
Much mad respect for Geno
respect.
Smith. Hell of a football player. Came in last year whenever, that mallet finger happened for us.
Sunday night game. Played really well.
Absolutely. Did his thing. Slang the rock. How you
Yeah,
doing? Keep
all
it
down.
moving. I hope they all get to compete for the job.
Be
We
awesome.
don't know who we woed there, right?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Didn't woe
We
anyone.
just like to woe sometimes.
Yeah, well, whoa. That's another great song back in the day. Go ahead, Tone Diggs.
Yeah, Schrags, now that Omar Khan is going to be the GM for the Pittsburgh Steelers, like when you were a little boozed up last night, do you just send text to new GMs like, hey, if you ever need a shoulder to cry on or talk to or something like that, just so you could get in? Have you texted Omar yet?
Yeah, I texted him. He's a good dude. I've known him for years because he's been there for years, and I had no relationship with Colbert ever, and so I have never gotten information from Omar or anything. But like through the years, you go to these things, and he's always been such an awesome dude to speak with. He's smart. He's always been a guy that I'll ask questions off season, whatever, like salary cap type stuff, and he's pretty savvy with that stuff. Here's the deal with what they did. They went around the world and back again, interviewing interviewing all different GM candidates, and they knew that they had a really good candidate right under their nose. But he outdid all those candidates, and the guy that was in the building is who they hired. But Omar's
We
not
all
some
knew that
new
was gonna
fresh
happen,
face.
right?
He's been doing this thing for 17 years, I think, in Pittsburgh, and he was the best candidate. And they interviewed a lot of people, and a lot of people multiple times, and he still got the job. So he's earned it in every single way, and he's going to be picking right up from Kevin Colbert.
Every Yinzer immediately upon this job opening, right, said they're going to hire from within the building, though? Wasn't that
Yeah.
kind of the immediate thought is always with the Steelers. That is coming from their university. That is how the Pittsburgh Steelers have always operated. Right?
It was Omar, who's kind of on the finance side, and then Brandon Hunt, who was kind of on the scout side. They went with Omar, and then they brought in from the scout side the guy from the Eagles. So those
Andy
two guys-
Weedle, who's
yeah.
great.
Hey, a lot of people out of the Howie Roseman factory. Now, they gave Andrew Berry credit for that on Ari Mirov, and Andrew Berry, obviously, from the Colts. But it does feel like a lot of the Eagles staff get gigs. A lot of high respect for Howie. Is that what that is, or what do you think?
Hey, I did a whole segment on it 2 weeks ago because of the diversity that he's bringing out. Catherine Raish goes. She gets a job in Cleveland. She's one of the highest-ranking females in all of sports media, in all sports executives. And then you talk about Ian Cunningham and Brandon Brown, and over the years, Andrew Berry, of course. But then you add in
Colts.
an Andy Weidel, who's going to go now and join Pittsburgh. But also Joe Douglas, the GM of the Jets, was with Howie for a year in Philadelphia and said that really, or a couple of years, really helped him go. Howie gets a lot of slight, but one thing they do really good, it's like almost like an incubator there for young talent. And if I was to tell anyone trying to get into the NFL, like send your resumes out because it could happen. And then Philadelphia is one of those places that not only embraces it, but they help develop you and help you grow. And then, of course, Howie always is good with the numbers, too. So you learn the full thing where you learn the football, but you also learn the business other side.
Well, congrats to Howie becoming a front office factory, whatever everybody's saying. Congrats to you on winning a damn Emmy. Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you for the information on Steve Keim. We just looked up the photos from him on tour with Blake Shelton. He looks awesome on tour. Can't wait to chat about that with him and
Pat,
also the Kyler Murray
what
stuff.
What would it take to get you guys on Good Morning Football this offseason, even if it's remotely, like a pop-on? Is that going to have to take like a big favor, or you don't do that? I understand.
I mean, you guys haven't had me on the first 3 years of your existence. I'm friends with basically everybody on the show. I've never been on.
Yeah.
I was actually on set a couple times.
Yeah, right next door.
Was never invited on. Yeah. I think it's because Michael Davies is so embarrassed by the fact he put me on camera for 30 minutes with no sound.
What is that? Quickly, what is that story? Because I don't know the story. It was
just one of the greatest produced shows of all time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was for
what show was it?
Barstool Tailgate Show. Me and Portnoy and Trent, I believe, that particular day. I don't know if JSB was with us yet. Yep. We were in Iowa, live on location from a house. Probably 100 people in the front yard of this house there. Pretty electrifying. Probably our best show. Probably the best show we did from front to back.
Crowd was wild.
Crowd was insane. It was a great weekend of college football. It was the kickoff, the Iowa game. 30-some minutes, we did a show, got off the front porch that we were doing the show
Looking
from.
around like we did great, right?
Hopped in a car. We were hopping on a private plane because I had a stand-up thing to do that night in Purdue. Correct. And Portnoy was coming with, and we were in the car, and my wife's text comes through green, and I realized I didn't have any service or whatever, and it said no sound. And then, 20 more text messages came through from her and other people that were like, there's no sound, there's no sound, there's no sound. And then Portnoy, I actually hear his phone start vibrating because none of us had service because how many people were in the confined area that we were in Iowa. So we didn't even know until literally 20 minutes after the show ended that we were completely muted for 35 minutes or whatever. Michael Davies production. Now he's winning sports Emmys. I've never got an apology, I don't think, ever. Never explained to me. Never talked to me.
Then that show got canceled.
And think about that. Me and Portnoy in front of hundreds of people in all these college towns, show got canceled. Never really, that show should have been, and it still is. They still pack out parking lots and everything. But we all thought, and I thought as we're doing, this show is going to become.
Oh, yeah.
And then it got canceled. I had no sound one week. We got canceled.
Hey, can I tell you something? Because I've been through all these things.
It's over.
It all works out.
It does. Davey's got an Emmy for it.
Davey's got an Emmy, and you're hosting SmackDown. And my little son at 5.5 years old is like, this guy's crazy. I love this dude.
That's awesome. So I got range. You know what I mean? I got range there.
Pretty cool.
Davey's a good guy.
We didn't need Iowa. We're good.
Hey, Davey's a good guy.
Davies is the man. Good dude.
All right. That's interesting. He's an Emmy winner.
British.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Seemed like a great guy.
Great guy.
Got one of the best gifts I have. The gift of me doing this is from that. Because I didn't know we were muted, obviously. There was conversation happening over top of me. So everything we did was being psychoanalyzed. We had every movement we made, you know what I mean? So it was quite a show. I was lucky to be part of that show. And congrats to Davies. Anyways, Schrags, enjoy a nap or two. Enjoy some water. And continue carrying that flag of the Emmy-winning Good Morning Football, pal. You deserve it. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Love you all.
Hey, we love you too. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schrager.
Yeah, Peter!
Yeah, Davies was in that photo. Of the Good Morning Football thing. I was like, I forgot Davies was a part of that. Yeah, no sound, 30-some minutes. Not a heads up from anybody. Somebody had to know. Somebody had to know that we had.
You would think.
Somebody had to know that we had no sound or whatever. That was an awesome moment. Awesome moment. What a legendary day.
Yeah, that atmosphere, too.
Never talked to that guy again after that. I talked to him before that show a couple times. Never heard from him again. He just disappeared. This guy puts me on fire. This guy mutes me in the middle of Iowa, and then I never talk to him again. What's the deal, dude? He's gonna set us out there to die.
He's probably embarrassed.
I would assume, yeah.
I have no idea how the production could just sit there and
They had to have known, right? Somebody had to have known
I
that
would
we had no
assume.
sound.
Yeah, you'd think so.
That would have been even better in the middle of that show with that environment. If they would have came out, hey, the first 10 minutes of this, we had absolutely no sound.
I can't remember. Were those on YouTube or were they on Twitter? Or
Facebook.
Facebook. Well, they're definitely because I know when we do a show, I'm sure Facebook comments was going and say no sound, no sound, no sound.
Yeah, somebody
so everyone
watching.
knew.
Yeah, but we had no my phone had no service.
None.
Foxy had none. Trent had none. Frankie had none. Dave had none.
Trent had none. We literally had no idea. Get in the car to leave.
Still think.
Do they have a version
Yeah.
with sound though? Like, do they ever re-release?
I don't remember. I don't remember now because the No Sound Show took all the conversation.
It did. That show was dead after that.
Dead. Youngstown was maybe one of the best shows. It was the last one too. Had a good one. Virginia Tech was insane.
Wild.
JSB almost got hit with a full beer can from about, 90 yards away. It might have been the strongest arm in the history of.
Would have been a full concussion.
It was like the $1 million arm. They throw beers around down at Virginia Tech.
$1 million arm.
Yeah. Whoa.
It felt like it, yeah. It did. Might have been Veer Mahan.
Whoa.
That beer came in over her head so fast. I mean, it hit the thing. I was like, oh, man, I am
Inches away.
maybe on too many vitamins right now to really deal with what could potentially take place.
Oh, yeah.
After that, I was like, oh, I'm going to snag one now. And I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then rip it.
Yeah.
People got a little gunshot with the beers towards the stage after that one, which is very nice of Virginia
Thank
Tech.
God.
Virginia Tech was a great time. They were very good people. That could have been ended much differently, though, with the way those beers were getting tossed around. That show was a good time.
I'm
man.
sure Iowa, they're probably chucking them up there too.
No. It's like a Virginia Tech thing.
Oh, really?
So, like in their parking lot tailgate, you throw a beer, you catch a beer, you drink the beer. All right, we're back in a minute and a half. Bye.
The Rangers and Oilers plus 330 boost. Maybe find a way. Both
I do
ways.
like that boost. Did not see that. Plus 300.
Plus 330.
Jeez.
Boost me.
Nick is on the boost.
I'm on the Oilers tonight.
You're on the Coilers?
Yeah.
Rizzo's plus 490, huh?
Plus 490? What's
your guy.
Judgy?
285.
Plus 490. Yeah, give me Rizzo.
It's always Rizzo.
Yeah. All first five. Cubs plus a half. Yanks minus a half. Jays money line. Giants money line. Padres plus a half. Angels money line. Astros minus half. Tampa money line. Red Sox plus a half.
Rays first 5 money line. Dodgers full game run line, laying the 1.5. Twins full game run line, laying the 1.5. Don't love that one. Sox first 5 plus a half. Those are the Red Sox. Houston first 5 minus a half.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show. It is hour 2 on this Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. Sports talk shall continue now. Yeah! We talked a little sports in the first hour.
Yeah.
Talked sports Emmys.
That's right.
We talked to Schrags about Jimmy G and the Steelers' new GM. Hey, here we go.
Hey, here we go, boys.
An assistant GM. We did a little sports talk. We got a chance to chat about, the Pro Bowl and how we'd fix it a little bit. But we haven't gotten a chance to chat with maybe the most legendary human that has ever come from the state of Ohio.
Definitely.
We would say he's the face of Ohio, not just because his face kind of resembles the shape of the state of Ohio,
Sure.
but because he is an Ohio guy, if you were to literally put together a mock Ohio guy.
Yes.
0 concussions while being the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers in the middle of the concussion lead with your head era.
Yep.
So what's that mean? Well, his skull incredibly thick.
Too thick.
Tough.
Tough.
What?
Hates mouth guards because the science, he says, causes concussions as opposed to the other. So much so on one tackle that didn't cause a concussion, he actually made his tooth vanish into dust.
Yeah.
Because he hit somebody so square that his jaw cracked in their tooth, spitting dust. Like when people eat saltine crackers. His fucking canine, this guy, did not cause a concussion.
No.
Fucking lost the hardest part of your body, the fucking tooth. The thing that is literally just bone on the outside, callus, vanished.
Vaporized.
Boom. Brain didn't bobble once.
Not even a little.
He's toxic as hell.
Oh, yeah.
It's very.
He won a college football national championship with the Ohio State Buckeyes. Wow. Still lives in Ohio, from Ohio. Ohio's greatest football player ever, and Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, COVID survivor, AJ Hawk. How you doing, AJ?
Yeah, appreciate the great intro. Obviously, you took your own liberties with what may be truthful, but you know what? I appreciate your passion.
Rebuttal to what I said.
What do you mean?
Just
about
any-
what? There's too many things.
What do you mean?
Just
maybe?
anything.
Pick one.
Anything. What did I say that was wrong? What did I
I
say?
mean, all of it. Like, my tooth wasn't vaporized.
Oh, you said it turned into dust.
Disintegrated.
You
The
said
majority
it.
of it did, but I found a few flecks that I was trying to get back to the trainer. Maybe we could rebuild this joke. But,
Like it's a toe on ice?
I can't claim to be Ohio. Believe me, there's so many that came before me and that will come out.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Even more
I don't want to be
Ohio.
that person.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's listen.
When you started your intro, I thought it was Herbie. I was like, oh, sweet, Herbie's on. I can watch you talk to Herbie.
No, Herbie has picked against Ohio State once in the past. So I believe
Yeah.
Herbie was potentially on the odds with
Yeah.
Ohio because he picked against Ohio State maybe one time in the history of college game day. And he's like, move, get out, kick him out of the state, this fucking traitor. I think it's a good thing, though, you get to represent the state of Ohio. Don't you, AJ?
Yeah, I'm from here. I've been all over, and I enjoy it here in Ohio. I choose to live here, so yeah, why not?
You and Dave Chappelle
Yep.
Only two.
should be the
Yellow
governor.
Springs, yeah, not too far from where I grew up in Dayton. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would like to potentially, see a Chappelle Hawk, campaign go, whether it's local,
Right.
county, senator, whatever, or governor, just to turn Ohio into what it can gloriously become. Not that it isn't already. There was a full scouting report by Dr. Prof. Donut on the
Is
internet.
that what all this was about? All of this build up?
Yes.
So you could show this thing?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, still a top 5 pick in life. If you were to go through the AJ Hawk scouting report that was put together by a third party,
Right.
an independent evaluator that we did not hire or know, put together a full scouting report on the man that is Ohio, the man that is AJ Hawk.
All this does is just encourage people to continue to do things like this.
No.
As it should.
What do you mean?
I mean, people are very creative, though, so hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate the passion, like I said, for you.
Let's go through the strengths. That was laid out by somebody, once again, we do not know.
No idea.
He is faster, ran a 4.4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stronger, tore his pec, still max bench than 400 some pounds.
Yep.
No.
And tougher, once again, 0 concussions, had a tooth turn into vapor
Yeah.
in the middle of a game. Brain didn't move
Nope.
than most human beings. I think that's an accurate scouting report there to begin, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, no way to ever judge toughness, but fine, you can move on.
Oh, there is. How many games did you miss?
I mean, in the league, I guess one, really.
Can you hold up your hand real quick? Your fingers?
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's see those fucking.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
I
Let's
don't
see
need
those
to. Why don't you
fingers.
keep moving? I want to see what the next one is.
Do it.
Show us the goods.
Has money and connections with people with even more money. Definitely a strength.
Well said.
1,000% true.
Can't
Remember,
deny
you
that
were
one.
down at the Masters. You were doing your thing. You were at that Emmy party. You were high fluting, tooting around
Yep.
with the
Lexi.
shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Rogers is his best friend. He's going to be a billionaire soon.
At that party that Ace Ventura walked into looking for fucking Snowflake.
Yeah.
Sam Ace.
He was at the, what's that?
Sam Ace.
That was his party.
That was his name at the party. Yeah.
Yes, Sam Ace. That was at a party that AJ Hawk is usually at, attends, and throws
Oh
sometimes.
yeah. All the time.
Carnival in his backyard.
Accurate still.
I mean, sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Responsible adult. Okay.
Sure.
Now loses a little bit of legitimacy here, right?
Yeah. More than a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, you got to look past that though. Every evaluator is going to have a flaw. This might have been the one that is on this entire sheet.
Yeah, falling asleep while driving with your kids in the car.
Well,
you just can't.
That does get addressed though.
Yeah.
You get a
They
check
are
for
not
that.
in the car. They are very active in the car, so you could not fall asleep with them.
I don't believe you.
But no, like him getting his kids, ready and stuff like that. Like,
Also,
that's very responsible.
Cheesecake Factory every single day. Super Bowl week, making sure we were all fed and ready to
Yeah,
go.
true.
You know?
Responsible.
Yeah.
A week worth of groceries too.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
always has water.
Cannot be really swayed, stubborn as fuck. I do believe this is the only thing on this entire sheet here that also have he can't drive like a normal human being. Sunsets really fuck him up. Jumping.
I
in
have
the
one
pool.
other issue with this that I'll explain later. But
Okay.
only one other one.
Yeah, you might have one. Yeah, and having breaking news, he stinks at. Obviously, he does have breaking news,
Right.
but
Say
actually
it.
breaking news is definitely a weakness. And there's other great things on there. This was the only thing that he commented on my post about. The only thing. None of these other things were a problem. Falling asleep while driving with him.
Yeah, no big deal.
Sunsets doing this entire thing. Having news, not breaking it, being just not a champion of news on this show.
Yeah, never
everything
is.
on there. He was mad that people called him stubborn. That this independent part, that out of this whole thing, stubborn was the one that you were like, nope, not fucking having it. Why is that? You believe stubborn people are bad people? That was what crossed the line for you?
No, I believe there's all different levels. Like, yes, it is good to be stubborn on things that you believe in and things that you think, you'll work your balls off for and you'll go try. But I am not stubborn on stupid things that don't matter. Like, I don't sit there and do that. I know people that are stubborn just to be stubborn because they want to be right. I try to stay away from being that person.
Don't think you'll become that successful or grow if when you're wrong, you can't acknowledge it, forgive yourself, and move on. Like that, I think you have to do that. Being able to do that is a weapon. I honestly believe that. Because think about the situations, and I used to not be able to do it, obviously. You could tell, like when I was a teenager and shit, I was a fucking asshole of a kid too. My parents, I couldn't even imagine what it was like. But when you get humbled numerous times and like your flaws just get displayed, I think sports do this. I think sports cause you to almost, like when I got those death threats, okay, and my life ended and I let down my teammates and the entire city and everything, boy, that's a new well, I was obviously wrong. The way I was going about things wasn't right because this is where I'm at. So you have to once you realize that, what a game changer just for life. I don't want to get too serious into a conversation here. I have a very accurate scouting report. Even the stubborn one. Even the stubborn one for sure. It refuses to fix the internet in Ohio to ever do it. But I think that's a weapon of yours. And I think that's cool that we actually talk about it, AJ. It's real humanized of you.
Well, it's funny that funny how this show can weave in between things like this and all of a sudden real situations. So yeah, I guess I don't have as big an issue with being stubborn as I thought I did last night. Maybe.
Well, it was the only thing that really caught your eye on this whole fucking thing.
Hashtag.
There's one other thing I disagree with.
What?
So yeah, we're not going through it. Good. People, I got a few messages when I checked about this. People trying to claim I didn't beat my shellfish allergy. That's an absolute joke. It is gone. I can eat as much as I want. I absolutely beat it. I will prove it however you want me to do it, but I'm just telling you.
I absolutely beat it. That's a clip. Love that. You're out there beating it off. The the shellfish.
Set myself up.
Yeah, you did. The shellfish
Just
thing.
like you beat that guy's name all right off of him.
And by the way, he did change it on social media.
Yeah.
We talked about that. About how that's a smart decision to do that. Whoever, congrats. Congrats to him on his
Congrats.
on his arms, his new name.
Yeah, all above.
His new title.
Your commitment to microdosing yourself so you can hobnob with the high society is something that was.
That's not why I did it. How many times
Yes,
I got to
it
tell you?
is.
That's not why I did it, man.
You did. You said the shrimp cocktail at the Black Tie Fair where Sam Ace came in looking for a dolphin, found a shark. That is where you had a breakout, you had hives, you couldn't breathe, you looked like a fool in front of all these super rich people. You said, this ain't gonna happen ever again. The next Black Tie Affair, honey, Laura, when's the next Black Tie Affair? 6 months. All right. Let me Google this thing. You go in there, you microdose.
I did not Google it. This was before microdosing was a thing.
Whoa. Did you create microdosing?
Not at all. I did not create
The
anything.
founder!
Holy shit.
Put it in the strengths.
Add it to the list.
Microdosing was a thing, but it wasn't as common as it is now.
Okay.
So you started.
You're
And it was not because I wanted to go to those.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with being at those events, Pat. You know that. It's because shrimp cocktail looked very good. I didn't care about cooked shrimp. I didn't care about hot shrimp, warm, anything in an actual meal. I just wanted cold shrimp cocktail that I could dip in the old red sauce.
How'd it taste? Was it good the first time you had it? Like the first time seeing color?
Oh, yeah. I mean, after I finally got there to where I could eat one whole shrimp, it was awesome.
still eat it to this day, or no? You just have that grilled chicken and plain rice.
Right.
No, I'll get it, but the only time I get it is if we do, like, we're at a nice restaurant and someone's getting shrimp cocktail. Like, hey, will you eat shrimp cocktail? I said, absolutely.
Oh, so you think that's potentially why I say that? Because the only place the shrimp cocktail is at one of those events that I laid out exactly.
Well, mainly because I'm not big into having like seafood in my house. I just feel like it smells for days.
Yeah, nobody. I've never walked into somebody's house and there'd been shrimp cocktail just sitting there. You know, like
Neither.
Always an event. Shrimp cocktail, always an event or at a restaurant. I don't think people just. That's why I automatically assume that. It had to be so bad at that first big event where your face just.
Oh my God!
You had to
That's
lose.
not where it happened.
Was it a karate deal? You think?
Yeah.
No.
He
Yep.
was sitting at a
Dojo.
super nice steak restaurant, and it was a place that was going to teach him the original, kick thing that he had on the internet, or maybe that Cyber Max.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the hell that thing
Power
was.
Max.
He was. Yeah, they were going to close the deal. After his big workout, they're going to dinner. They were going to close the deal on him owning a percentage of the fucking Power Max, and then he had one shrimp cocktail. Like, this guy can't even handle
Jesus
it.
Christ! The hell's this guy's
Loses the
mouth?
entire deal. Is that what happened? Your whole face? You couldn't breathe? Is that what happened, man?
That
Everything's
is
okay?
not. That's not how I became aware that I was allergic to shellfish. No.
How'd you learn? Did you just have because that kills people, right? Doesn't
Oh
it?
yeah. I was somewhere. I was down on a spring break, I believe, maybe junior year in high school, sophomore year. I don't know. And they're going, try lobster. That seems cool. And I tried it, and then like 20 minutes later, people are asking me what's up, and my eyes basically swelled shut and whatever.
Oh, no. In Hitch.
Yeah.
What a shame. He was really
But
getting
then, you know what I said, though? I've told you this. I was like, that it absolutely is not worth the hype. Like, lobster is not worth, like, what everyone says.
No, shrimp cocktail, not either.
And I need 57 claws of lobster to get enough meat to get full.
Yes, and crab legs, too. You might as well get 4,000 of them. It's a fun time, though. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Diggs, it sounds like you would eat shrimp cocktail every single night at the house.
Okay, so
That's what I said. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you were talking about the events and not having a house or whatever. When I was a single guy and I would go grocery shopping like once a month or whatever, and you walk by like the freezer aisles, sometimes at some places they do have the shrimp cocktail platter in there, and I would just grab that for dinner or whatever.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Those are
I love shrimp cocktail.
The plastic ones are like
Yeah.
if we were hosting anything at the house, straight to the grocery store, give me this plastic.
yeah.
Give me the plastic container that has the dip already in the middle.
It's always a hit. It's always a hit.
Always gets eaten because it's a celebration. It feels like shrimp cocktail is a celebration.
More Sundays than not during the football season, I will have a fucking shrimp cocktail on for the game.
No way.
Oh yeah.
What a sophisticated. I feel like in my eyes, I'm like, God damn, that's next level stuff. Getting in there. Buffalo chicken dip shows up. There's another celebration.
That's far and few between. But because you can just run down to the local supermarket and grab a big platter of shrimp cocktail, absolutely.
Can you still do that? Is there a shrimp shortage right now? Or no?
You can get it delivered on DoorDash. What do you mean?
What?
Well, yeah, he gets it from Cheesecake Factory once every 4 months.
No, I don't get shrimp cocktail at the house, but that does. I've been to a few, usually like cookouts or something. They may have a tray of shrimp cocktail inside.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk sports.
Please.
Great to see you, AJ. Top 5 pick. Scouting report.
Yeah.
Hey, we're lucky to have you on this show, AJ. You know that?
Hey.
How many
I'm
years?
lucky to be
How many
here,
years
believe
has
me.
this been? How many years has this been?
Here?
Yeah.
Since we've been officially doing stuff consistently, was like the day COVID shut everything down in March. How many years ago?
Yeah, I was going to say it's
March
like 26,
2020.
27 months right now.
What a run, AJ. Huh? What a fucking run. Could you ever
It's gone
imagine?
pretty quick.
I could have never imagined us talking to you every fucking day, basically.
Wow. It's awesome.
Me either.
Yeah.
I was not ever planning on.
Oh,
yeah, that was good.
Right? Was that what it
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
Man, that was so long ago, but not at all.
No. Do we still have that song?
Remember when we did the putting contest or whatever? And no one could hear AJ.
Couldn't hear AJ.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, I got roped into something.
He was so mad.
What was that, 2 hours?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
his face
Oh,
was
yeah.
in the clouds in the video.
The Office Olympics. This is stupid. And you guys can't even hear me.
even hear what I'm saying.
Is anybody... We couldn't, but it was the whole video, though. You were one of the only voices that could be heard on the video.
It worked out well.
Worked out better than we could have ever imagined. What an idea that was.
I remember I ran up to do that. That was like at nighttime. Like, hey, you got to come commentate Office golf or whatever. And I was like,
please.
got home,
And
ran
Office
up
golf,
here to do it. I remember doing it. Whenever I got done, I don't know who, my wife or someone was like, how'd it go? I was like, really good. It was awesome.
It was like 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
A long time. How many kids do you have?
4.
So we appreciate the fact that you spend your day with us. Very appreciative of it. Let's dive into football. Steve Keim's joining us 1 hour from now, AJ. There's like big shit to talk about with him.
Seems like there's a ton to talk about with him, right?
Former player, too, former offensive lineman. Feels like he very much is appreciative of the players. They've gone all in over there in Arizona, feels like, around Kyler. Now, will Kyler remain? Who knows? But J.J. Watt and numerous other people brought into the desert to get that team off and running. I would wonder how nice it feels for Steve Keim to be empowered, it feels like, by the new ownership. Like the son took over the team or whatever, and it feels like they're going all in more and more. He has to be, that's a dream job, right?
Yeah.
If you have an owner that goes all in and you're an offensive lineman, you know football damn well, and you have all the access to do whatever the fuck you need to do to get a winner, you bring in Cliff Kingsbury, which a lot of people judged whenever it happened. He was offensive coordinator for USC for like 3 weeks at the time. He had already been fired from Texas Tech, and they lost their last game to Baylor pretty bad in the Texas shootout down in Dallas, Arlington, Texas.
Yeah.
On the call, Sean Kelly, AJ Hawk, and myself.
Wow.
We watched his last college football game, and the conversation was, Cliff's getting fired. Remember? We were like, are we breaking this on the air during this happens that he's getting fired because it was kind of up in the air? He gets fired, goes to USC, becomes a head coach in a fucking NFL. That's a massive decision that I guess is boding very well. He just signed a new deal over there.
I mean, it seems to be set up perfectly, especially for Steve Keim. My bad. I do want to ask him, like, yeah, everything's set up. Everything looks great. Obviously, Kyler is a guy that does things we've never seen anybody do before. That also brings a lot of added pressure. Like, hey, you better win, and you better win right now.
Yeah, there's some coaches that I've heard speak out of the building that have like, yeah, they're probably going to want to win, but not too much. You know, you win 10 games this year, and then you win 9 games next year. Like the natural thing is like, well, what's going on? Well, this same team was able to win 10 games. You guys win 9. It has to be on the coaches or whatever. I'm like, no. We should be trying to win fucking 60. You guys should be trying to win 16 fucking games. At the time, 16 games. Now 17 games every single year. What are we even doing? He's, yeah. Sure, one team's been able to do it in the history of the NFL, but yeah, I'm sure my guy wants to go get fired after 1 year after the team gets worse or whatever. You know, those things really happen because people are thinking 100% professionally. Doesn't feel like Steve's doing that or Cliff, which is why I'm pumped. You know, it feels like they know the NFC West is fucking murder's row. Yeah. It's only going to continue to get better because of the Rams, they're going all in for at least another 2-3 years. They're going to go. The Niners they got a Deebo Samuel situation to figure out, and it feels like Trey Lance is going to be their quarterback with Jimmy maybe getting traded after he comes back healthy here in a few weeks, allegedly, early July. Not 100% how that'll pan out. But the NFC West is a problem, and they know it, and they're investing, and they're going all in. I love it. I can't wait to chat with them, AJ. I can't wait to see what it's like to be like, hey, you traded for Hollywood Brown draft night, and nobody heard about it. How the fuck did that happen, you know?
With agents they obviously kept like the circle small who knew about it, but still, it's almost impossible for anyone to keep secrets now. So I think that is highly impressive. I don't know if we'll see something like that happen again.
He's a former player, so I think he takes it from more like a locker room type feel.
He was a stud O-lineman in college, I know that.
Move bodies down there in Carolina. The whole thought, though, that, hey, I'm going to tell you I'm doing this, and we're not telling anybody else. Like, hey, this needs to stay in this room. Like, that's very much a locker room thing, I think, right? Like, hey, this needs to stay in this fucking locker room. This is not good for anybody if this gets out. Not a single person wins from this. Like, and by this, I mean, like, what somebody's thinking about a coach, or what somebody's thinking about a game plan. It's like, hey, this stays fucking in this locker room, okay? This cannot be out. What you see, say, and hear stays here, whatever, is like literally as you walk out of a locker room. So I think him and Cliff being a former player as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge. And they are definitely tied together. It seems like how they do, like they'll be viewed together, how that team does, whether they win or lose.
And it feels like everybody always wants a pat on the back for what they're doing. So that's why, nothing ever, doesn't get leaked. Everybody wants to be like, yep, look what I did, look what we did, look at this, and holy shit, this happened. So them being able to just, probably in the room, like, all right, hey, with the ownership, here you go. With the Ravens, probably what? GM over there and Harbaugh, probably?
Yeah.
In the GM, it's like, hey, this stays on this conference call. They said it like a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
A couple weeks they were saying that was for. How? 2022, somebody would be pillow talking, you would think.
You would think. What is there's a quote, I'm sure somebody there might know who said what, it's amazing, like what can be done if people don't care about who gets the credit.
Oh,
something like that.
I think Einstein.
Maybe
Probably.
Gary Vee, probably.
Aristotle?
Maybe Gary.
it might have been Gary. I'd say it's Gary over Aristotle.
Could be.
Yeah.
But doesn't
The Pope?
Gary usually wants the credit, though.
No. He's got a good team. J-Rock, E-Rock.
The boys.
E-Rock.
What?
Does he have someone named E-Rock and J-Rock?
Okay, J-Rock.
It was Harry S. Truman.
Ooh, give him hell, Harry.
Wow.
How much you can
Nice.
do for man.
Harry Trum. Not Einstein, turns out.
Yeah.
Truman.
Einstein was thinking about it, though, I think.
Probably.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to the 500 phone line. I'm very excited for that conversation with the time. I mean, we just dedicated 20 minutes to a conversation we're having an hour from now. That's why this show stinks. That's why you shouldn't be trying to steal it. Steal somebody else's show.
Only 32 GMs, though.
This show stinks, dude. Yeah, there is only 32 GMs.
So when one comes on, it is a big deal.
And they're having success.
Yeah.
And they're fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fun team to root for. The Kyler Instagram post, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on him taking the photos off his Instagram?
That probably sucked.
Oh no, what's going on? Do you immediately have to get on the horn there? How about when Eric Burkhart, then he put an entire letter out to the world.
Yeah.
Chose
He publicly leveraged the Cardinals. You remember that?
That wasn't very long ago. That's
before
what's
the
crazy.
combine. That was before the combine, right?
Yeah, it felt like a very big deal at the time.
2 days before the combine, because Steve and Cliff are going to have to speak at the combine.
Yep.
So everybody was saying, "Oh, this was a leverage play because press is coming 2 days at the combine or whatever." That was interesting. It was interesting business. That's how they described it, by the way. Business has been done for a long time. We'll get it figured out. Kyler working out with J.J. Watt back in the building. Kyler putting Arizona Cardinal stuff back on Instagram. Not at OTAs. Does he live in Arizona full time? About 40 minutes away.
Reported news, too, that Kyler wanted a deal done before the draft. And obviously that didn't happen. They picked up his fifth-year option.
What do we know about reported news anymore? Okay?
True.
Honestly, reported news is very fast. In our world, I'm not getting into the real world. I assume there are people that have their own thoughts on that entire thing. I am not the right person to do that. I thought for sure, my understanding, and we cover this day to day, so we have to kind of snoop literally at everything and anything, which is pretty time consuming, but also a lot of fun, and we're lucky to have this job. But we're snooping around. It sounded like the Dan Snyder vote was actually happening, and this came a couple weeks after Papa John got on a goddamn podcast and was like, "Hey, better ingredients, better pizza, less mic time for the boss." That's the next plan next time. That's basically what he said. And then he went on to say that, Jared and Dan Snyder, they called me with the Pepsi company's president. They're like, "Hey, you're our two biggest sponsors. You guys get fucking Goodell out of here. Okay, get him absolutely out of here. We need to fire him immediately." And Papa's just saying this on a podcast, and everybody takes everything that Papa says with like it's Papa John.
Yeah,
Let's remember. Let's remember it's Papa John.
Does he have a loyal group, though, that still follow him?
I don't know. He's getting asked to be on podcasts. I don't know if I don't know how that worked out. Who knows? He's got $1 bazillion.
Yeah.
I assume he can just
Who
disappear.
decides to have a vote? Do we know?
Yeah, well, it would be.
Doesn't one person just bring it
Who
to a
can
vote?
call it? Who can
That's what
call
I
and say, "Okay, we're going to vote to boot this dude"?
So after watching Succession, there is a lot of different ways that those votes of no confidence and other things can happen, right? Because they can technically be outside the room, but those can be glass walls.
Yeah.
And they could just be staring directly over the shoulder of everything that's going on. Because if it's in the one per club meeting, where it's only the decision makers, and Roger Goodell reported yesterday at the league meetings that he has heard nothing about the Dan Snyder vote out or whatever. He said, asked about the possibility owners would remove Commanders owner Dan Snyder from the NFL. Roger Goodell said, "I'm not aware of that at all." Roger Goodell knows that he can say something that contradicts himself 2 months from now, because that has certainly happened in the past, because things could change in the future. But I don't know if he would go that strong on that answer if it was actually happening. A lot of people were saying that he's lying, that probably is happening. I feel like with the way Roger has been known to speak in the past, he would have danced around that a little bit more. Don't you think, AJ?
Yeah, maybe, but first off, he's not under oath. He's allowed to lie and say whatever he wants. Like, that can absolutely happen. But
True, but he does.
If he
He's the
said,
commissioner
but he
of
said,
the
"I'm not
zone."
aware of those votes happening." Is it possible that he says, plausible deniability? Hey, don't tell me. Don't tell me about certain things.
And it's only the owner's votes anyways. It's not commissioner's vote. So maybe after the vote is finished,
It's way better for him. Yeah, it's way easier for him to not know until, I guess, something's final.
Yeah, because you can just plead ignorance. Literally, he can go under oath. He can say, "I had no idea. I had no clue this was happening." And he is a rep. We always say it. He's representing 31 billionaires. In this case, he would be doing just that. Hey, here's what we did. Now you go tell people why. Hey, here's what happened. Good luck. You're taking you're taking all of the hate in the absolute flames that are about to come. From all of us. Good luck out there. We'll pay you $60 million, though. Yeah. And you'll get free peanut M&Ms every draft night. Okay? No problem at all. You'll get to do that. So you're 100% right. That definitely could be the case. And that could be happening right now, I guess, right?
You would think, yeah. Man, yeah. Could someone have a follow-up question? Say, well, okay, you're not aware of it, but have you heard have you talked to any owners about it? Have you heard anyone bringing this up as a possibility?
Have you investigated how that would actually work since it hasn't happened in the past? Can you lay out the process of what would have to happen for that to take place?
Has that not happened? Have they never voted anyone out like that?
I don't think so, no. I do not believe
How'd they get, they got Carolina's, he just resigned, right?
Yeah, sold the team.
I guess what would happen is they would just forced resignation, right?
That'll be like what I heard other schools used to do. If they wanted a guy who was on scholarship, not on the team anymore, so they get their scholarship back, but they don't want to be the people that cut the scholarship, they would just run them for 6-7 hours.
So they quit.
Hey, you want to keep going? Yeah. Or you just want to kind of leave.
Yeah, what you say? Be pretty easy.
I wonder if in that one per club meeting, they're like, Dan, we're going to go around the room and we're going to say every piece of information that we have about you that we will leak, okay, to whoever.
Oh, that'd be tough. Yeah, then I think he just, all right, thanks, guys.
Do you want to sell the team or what do you want to? Okay, thank you. That's what we thought. Have a good one. That's just like running a guy until he says, I'm out of here. It's like, is that happening? That would be banana land. But you have to assume with that much money, with how big the league is, with how much bigger they want to get, those are probably some pretty ruthless conversations happening in there, AJ.
So too much money, too many lawyers,
Ego.
just so many gigantic corporations involved. I love that we're getting all of this, and you get so juiced because you watched the show Succession. That's why I can see your brain just like you're putting each owner as a different character in the show. I can see it.
Bro, Kendall Roy coming out and saying, $375 million, just like I said on the quarterly earnings call that everybody tried to report and refute and whatever. No. $375 million. Invest in Fox now. What are we? Tom Brady's coming on board. Just like I fucking said, that is the right thing. I just think about that with everything now. Yeah, just that soul family. Yeah, because all the owners of the NFL at their buildings, they are Logan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they are L to the OG.
Yeah,
with $1 billion in business, billions and billions of dollars in business. $100 million deals with numerous people that have to be negotiated and have to be, the stadium contracts with local government have to be free. I mean, there is some real, super business shit that has to take place from that person. Then they go to a meeting where it's all of those people. And they're supposed to work with each other on who has the best ideas for the greatest league of all time. I couldn't even fathom how contentious it gets in there. Oh. There has to be some people that just...
Giant egos. Oh. Imagine the egos that are in that room.
And imagine if you do have the best idea. Imagine if you do have the best idea. Hindsight will tell us that my idea would be the best idea. I'm one of the owners. And I go in there and 5 people just absolutely murder it. And I believe in it. I've had a lot of success in my business. I think this would work. Fuck you. No, fuck you. Bury it. Do something else. Doesn't work. It'd be hard not to go back in there. Well, we listen to this motherfucker again? Yeah. How does that? And they always are so tight. I don't understand. I honestly wonder how
publicly. Don't you think I am sure they talk about that. Hey, we can say and do whatever we want in here. No hard feelings, whatever. It's all business. But when we leave this room, we have to show a united front because the players. I'm sure they say, hey, the players would love for us to split up and start fighting. If owners start fighting other owners, then things could. Players would find a way to wedge their way in and get some more power. So I'm sure they have to do that.
That's why when Mark Davis was sitting down in his starter jacket with a backpack on a chair, and he said something that was different than what 2 other owners said, it was like, ooh, wait a minute. Yeah. Are they about to crack? Nope. They went right back into the room and were like, stand up the next time you're fucking sitting and shut up. Go ahead, Tone.
Don't you think owners probably before the one per club, if they do have an idea, they run it by like other owners before they go into the meeting to gauge the temperature?
They
on
have
it?
to have a little focus
and then,
group.
Like they go into the meeting knowing like, 10 guys are at least on my side. I could probably sway another 10, and then we see how we go from there.
Politics.
Yes.
That's what politics are. That's what you do.
Well, Shiv and Romulus normally
Well, and
on the
even
same
like,
side.
like House of Cards, even though. Like to go to that show, that's kind of how they do it. They do it all behind the scenes. But like with the Commanders,
Succession has really blown my mind. I'm like, who have I talked to? Like, I start piecing. I'm like, I think I talked to somebody that had like that role at one job.
I fucking know Cousin Greg.
Oh my God!
like all the time.
I have met 3 of those Wams games from different businesses. It's like, okay, all right. Is this a documentary or not? I don't know. This is much like Winning Time. I'm kind of viewing this thing as, this is definitely how it all goes because it makes too much sense, which is why the movie or the show is so goddamn good. But now that we are actually in that business kind of, and I have to talk to those people, it's like, it's hard not to view you as fucking Kendall Roy. I am so sorry. It's hard not to do it. I'm sure you're a better rapper. Or, I don't know if that's the case, but it is. It's wild how these big businesses have to operate because it feels like they all come from the same neighborhood, same communities. They've known each other basically their entire lives, it feels like, for a lot of people. New money come in and really rattle shit up, right? New money comes in and normally a problem in a lot of these combos.
Some fucking tech guy.
But so many of these people have known each other since they were children, I think. And it's like they get so pissed off at each other, but they just are kind of inundated with it all that, this is just kind of how you do business. I'll get fucked over and then next week, we'll fuck over that person and screw that person next time. And I'll get fucked and my opinions don't matter. But we're all in.
Just the way it goes.
It feels like that is really what happens at that upper echelon of people. And now that I'm watching it, I feel like I'm learning a lot more and probably going to be better at business with those folks if I had to guess.
I mean, just look at the Colts and the Patriots. Like, I assume Jonathan Kraft, who's going to take the team over after Bob Kraft, his son, has probably known Jim Irsay since they've known the Colts this entire time. Like, those families really do kind of come up with each other.
The Irsay daughters.
Yeah, exactly.
About to, you would think.
All the Rooney. I mean, pretty much.
The Rooneys, yeah. The Maras.
This isn't how your father would have done business.
Exactly.
I remember when your dad sat down right there and pitched blood. Think about that with the old school owners. But the old school owners, I think, are the ones who are getting most of the shit done, right? Isn't Jerry Jones like known as being one of the most influential owners in that entire building?
Oh, yeah.
And that's another family. Like, add Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. Like, there's so many of that, it feels like, in the NFL. So, like, when you do watch Succession, and I think it's season 2 or season 3, when they're trying to do the buyout with the other family, who's basically just the exact same as the Roys. Like, that is how it feels like, at least it works.
By the way, that got a little contentious.
Very contentious. Pooping in beds.
Really? Never heard.
Never heard.
No, pooping in their own bed.
That's back. I saw Johnny was on the stand.
All right. Really?
Oh, yeah, today. I don't know if I think it was live. Yeah.
There was a guy doing weird mouth stuff on the stand.
Yeah, that was Amber's psychological doctor.
This is This is $150 million thing, though, right?
Yeah.
What are the lawyer fees going to be? Are you kidding me? This is a long trial, man.
Well, 6 weeks, they're saying? They had
last week.
They had a recess in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, take a little break.
This is the longest public thing that we have seen since what, OJ?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, Jody Arias?
Casey Anthony.
Casey Anthony, up there for sure.
Oh, Casey Anthony. I remember that.
Yeah.
She was the Ohio lady, right?
Florida, I think. Right?
Florida.
She was a Notre Dame fan. I remember that.
She's
on Notre Dame.
She allegedly
Yes.
But everyone.
Yes.
Her baby.
killed her baby,
Right.
right?
I forget who was her lawyer.
Jose Baez.
Yes. Yeah, very good lawyer.
Then she blamed her dad at the trial. I don't know if you guys remember that. Well,
Add
Jose,
this to the strength.
Yeah. Right.
This is right down
Toxic.
his.
like Garagos,
alley.
like he gets a lot of those clients. Like, I know the people that will, they'll defend some of those people, I guess. But Jose Baez was in Columbus defending a guy here, some doctor just recently.
Yeah.
Really? Well, we know Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We know the
Aaron Hernandez
Greatest
lawyer,
tight end.
too.
Oh, yeah.
He got Hernandez off the second one.
Yeah.
Remember, I thought he was coming out of jail and back in the NFL.
Yeah.
Should have.
Honestly, there was a moment there where AH, as Tommy Curran
Yeah.
called him, where might see the second coming of AH?
On the field.
On the field.
On the field.
Tommy Curran. What a guy. I thought he was going to be back in the NFL. I thought there was a chance this guy's back in the NFL. I remember being a time. I don't know. Where was I playing at the time? Yes.
Yeah, because
You thought they'd just forgive the first murder conviction?
No, I thought he was going to appeal all of them and get off.
Wasn't that the plan to go on to the next one, right?
And that, I think that human you're talking about, what's his name?
Jose Baez?
Yeah, I think people were telling me I didn't do my own research. This is terrible. I shouldn't do it. This is what would go on to be the problem on the internet. This happened in real life. People were telling me that this guy got Casey Anthony off and got this off and just got Aaron Hernandez off. I'm like, oh, this guy gets everybody off. He must know the cheat code on getting people off, whatever it is. If Aaron gets off, and this was, I think, training room conversation. I was probably rehabbing something and this was all taking place. I'm like, you're telling me that some owner somewhere, Aaron Hernandez, gets all of these things reversed, has 0 bodies on his record. You don't think some owner will be like, fucking guy's still got it? I mean, his knees are probably better than they've ever been. I'm thinking the NFL will not allow that to happen. They will not allow that to happen. I'm like, if he has 0 guilty charges, which I thought that Jose guy would end up doing, because that's kind of how it was being laid out, I think he would have got a job somewhere if he was that good at football. Be who you can afford to be. Literally, innocent former guilty murderer would have been in there, and then he killed himself. Everybody's like, do you feel like an idiot now? He had so much guilt that he killed these people that he did it, and you were fucking saying he was coming back to the NFL. I'm like, whoa, I've never met AH.
Yes.
What do you want from me? I got kind of attacked, and that's how I remember this whole thing. That guy gets everybody off though, right?
Seems like it, yeah. He seems to. That's why they keep hiring him.
And is he with Johnny right now or no?
I don't think he's Johnny.
This isn't criminal, this is civil.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp, yeah.
This shit's long.
It's been on the internet, it feels like. I mean, especially in internet years.
Is it a work? This is not a work. This is.
I don't think so.
Johnny's not going to get the money that he's trying to get.
I have not followed it closely enough.
I'm sure he's for his reputation. He doesn't want to be known as like an abuser, so that's why he's doing it. But still,
I did see that Johnny's trying to get Amber's reverse, whatever it's called, lawsuit dropped.
Countersue.
Jesus.
And I don't think
I'm
Amber's
pumped
gonna
that my internet, my algorithm, it will now because we're talking about it and we're giving so much information. So my phone, it's probably.
Did you hear?
I can already feel it going, hey, good news. Got a lot to show you. It has stayed out of my algorithm pretty good.
That's very good. It
has stayed out of there because I do know it has taken over your life almost outside the show.
I'm watching.
Zito, it's kind of Zito's all in on this thing.
Mm-hmm. There's a new theory too that Johnny Depp's dating one of his lawyers.
Oh,
Camille.
That's for sure.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's really.
Here we go.
What does dating mean?
This is what happens.
They asked
Banging.
her.
This is why generations will not take our generation as serious.
That's
as
right.
yours. This is
it's a real thing. Zeet's saying that's a real thing out there.
I think it was TMZ asked her while they were leaving the courthouse one day, and she just like giggled and kept walking.
She's
Said
like,
no comment. I plead
No,
the
she
fifth.
didn't even say no comment. Just laughed and kept
she's like
What does
Richie
dating
from
mean? Took her to
American
dinner?
Gangster.
No, you kidding me? It's Johnny Depp. He's slaying, obviously. I mean, he's not just taking her to dinner. There's no
You're
way.
saying if something's happened.
Correct.
Not
correct.
that she is.
No, no.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
They had a mega pint.
Very
of wine.
accomplished lawyer though, amazing lawyer. Camille.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Camille.
I mean, it's $100 million lawsuit. So I would assume.
You really are following this, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm all in.
I walk by him all the time, and he's watching like a 15-minute video on.
I
what
literally
happened during the day.
I told Connor to keep walking. I'm watching something.
That's real.
Oh yeah.
And
Hey, I'm watching here.
It feels like it's been for a long time. It has. 6 weeks.
That's forever.
I hate to say it, but it's good entertainment.
6 weeks is 4 years on the internet.
Exactly. Like a 6-week event. I'm surprised that people haven't just said like, all right, fuck this. Like it's been going on.
Yeah, they got to
too
be on
long.
season 50.
They probably
of the
are a
internet.
little bit. I think I just check. I see every once in a while the highlight clips. That's it.
Jeez,
It's still going though. Those clips are still rolling.
What were you going to say, Nick?
I was just going to say Zito's interpretation of what is actually going on always deserves a little double check. There.
Well, that's
Oh, yeah, do your own research.
what people say and what people hear. Always two different things. Also, a part of the problem in the world that we're in currently today.
That's right. That's the problem. I
Never going to
apologize.
stop, by the way, because humans are always going to be in there.
Yep.
Zito's always going to exist. But that's the beauty of it all, isn't it? Huh? That's the beauty of it all.
Oh yeah.
Let's get to a break. We'll be back in 4 minutes with some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line. 1-833-4 McAfee. I believe all of us, can't help but put life into perspective after what happened just yesterday down in Texas. Nothing but positive vibes to the people that are deeply affected by that. And we'll continue to hopefully be a distraction from the miserableness that is some parts of our society.
Yep.
We're going to try to change it, though. I think the world will get better. I honestly believe that. Don't you, AJ? I think the world will get better.
I am absolutely optimistic. Yeah, kids.
Me too.
I deal with kids all the time. Kids are way smarter than we know.
Yeah, way smarter, and hopefully they'll be a little bit more reasonable than it feels like some people are in times. I think our world's going to get better. I hope. I have optimism. And if we're a small part of that, maybe viewing things a little different, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Job well done. Don't steal our shit. We're back and forth. Everybody assumed that the Packers were going to try to get some weapons, and nobody has heard from you since Davante Adams got moved to the Las Vegas Raiders. When that move happens, obviously we know the connection and the relationship that you and Davante have. You've talked about it on this show ad nauseum and how much respect you have for him. Did that surprise you? Obviously you're not going to be able to replace a Davante Adams, but how has that conversation evolved with the Packers from you, and what do you think are going to be the steps going forward?
Well, we've had a lot of success with the second and third round receivers in Green Bay. You look at Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, James Jones in the third round, obviously Davante Adams in the second round. Those guys turned out pretty good. So I'm not sure. I think we're about to pick here in a second, but you know, it was a little surprising with Davante. Obviously, when I made my decision, I was still thinking he was going to come back. You know, I was very honest with him about my plans and my future and where I saw, you know, my career going as far as how many years I wanted to play. But I felt like, you know, he was going to be back. Didn't obviously turn out that way, but I have so much love for Tay and appreciate the time we spent together, and definitely wish him the best with Derek in Vegas. But that's a big hole to fill for sure.
Yeah, Davante's an absolute stud. And thank you for talking about that, by the way. I think people are going to be intrigued to hear that. Whenever you said that it did surprise you a little bit, I saw Mad Mel Kiper shake his head. But it doesn't sound like you are that pissed off about it either. You understand business is business, and you have faith and trust in Goody and LaFleur and everybody over at Green Bay, much more now than maybe in the past?
Well, it is the business. You know, it's a tough business. It's a wonderful profession. And those of us who've been blessed to play for so long realize that completely. And there's a lot of things that happen that surprise you, even still. And I thought that based on the number that we offered Davante and, you know, being able to play with me for a few more years would definitely make a difference. But in the end, I think he was ready to move on and wanted my help in making that happen. And it was a tough position to be in for sure, because I love him and I care about him and want him to be happy. And he's definitely going to be missed.
Don't break the table, obviously.
I just break shit. Sorry, man.
Somebody came sprinting behind the barrier and tried to spear him.
I fucking dare somebody.
Oh, no!
I dare the next ass kicking.
What?
Saudi Arabia.
What?
Riyadh.
What?
Taking a jet plane.
What?
All the way there.
What?
All the way back.
What?
On the way back.
What?
WWE champion.
Yeah! Hey, you see?
Hell yeah!
That just destroyed our shit. Hey, welcome back to the show. Old Diggsy with the pick for the 15% off sale at the store.
Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Good hoodie. You run cold, I believe, so a lot of hoods.
I do run a little cold. I am soft.
No, not soft. You just have a different body temperature.
And soft.
Well, I mean, Yeah, I just don't want to lump in everybody that gets cold. As
Oh,
being
yeah,
soft.
sure.
I think just people have different
right.
body temperatures.
Yeah.
What do you set the house at?
House is like 67.
That's very cold.
I like to be cold.
Yeah.
And then like just put some stuff on.
Oh, okay. I'm always hot at all times.
Set the temperature.
How about you? What are you, AJ? What are you?
I am usually, always. I'll sweat through whatever I'm wearing.
Me too. Why is that, you think?
We're just very efficient.
I don't think my body, your body, much different. I assumed. I thought
Well, you
you
drink a
were
lot of
gonna give
fluids,
real
though.
answer.
You drink a lot of fluids, you sweat them out.
Okay, so that's why I'm always uncomfortably hot, too?
I don't know about
What's
that.
your house set to?
Well, Sam.
You have
Sam,
zones?
It's cold. So she would like it to be, like maybe Miami in July.
Wow. Okay.
Okay?
70,
What number? Like 70 what?
And 92
76.
Whatever it could get to, she's with. If the house could get to 80, she would. Like, if it could technically get there, I think she would be okay with that. Runs cold. Don't think she's soft, though. Just knows that she's runs cold. I would like it just to be, hey, give me, like, I don't know, fall, in the house.
62.
65 to 70, I think is good where I'm at. So we definitely have quite a situation. But windows fuck it up.
Yeah.
Windows,
They do.
they bring the sun comes in, cooks the house. Then you put the cool or the heat. That's all. I feel like that is in every house, though. The temperature conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Impossible to moderate and monitor and keep consistent, too. They need to figure that out.
Yeah, cannot regulate it at all. Especially if it's a hot day, like you said, and there's windows. I mean, you might as well set that thing to 61 because
Hey.
in those areas.
You're having cocktail at the house by yourself.
Yeah.
Couple whiskeys.
What?
You got that thing set up nice, huh? The house is just like
About 65, 67.
oh, how nice is that?
It's beautiful. But I'm the same way. Like, if I'm at home and I'm setting it at that, like, I probably have sweatpants and a sweatshirt on.
I don't wear sweats. I'm always in shorts and a tank top. Let's get to the phones. Oh, it's a breaking news.
Oh.
Vrabel's beating up something in the Tennessee Titans gym.
Hell yeah.
Right now, Taylor Lewan is on site reporting. Mike Vrabel is boxing against a round heavy bag. I do not know the proper technical terms. I do know he's throwing lefts and rights and an uppercut like he's Tyson Fury. The coach of the year, Vrabel, knows that Harbaugh might be pissed that the boys are on the logo and he's throwing bombs around the boys at Tennessee. AJ, your thoughts on this Ohio guy staying sharp just in case any motherfucker can get it?
I absolutely love this, and I love that I am fairly confident Braves has no clue that Taylor is filming him, especially he did not know that Taylor would be posting this, I'm guessing. Or maybe Taylor, he is a smart enough guy. Maybe he checked it with him, but
I don't-
Braves should have a good comeback.
I don't think Taylor checked it. This seems to be an ongoing thing between Vrabel and Taylor Lewan. It is called a
Wrecking ball heavy bag.
he's fucking
nice.
wrecking.
It's fucking wrecking it.
He came and knocked out a wrecking ball in front of all the boys you know. The staff in Tennessee, you see. He'll send you right to CTE. All right.
In
That's
front
why
of the
this show
discipline.
can't do anything. That's why we can't get right. Vrabel is staying sharp. If a coach wants to get some, they can fucking get it. If somebody on the other team happens to stumble into the sideline, give him an shove and not apologize properly, look at that uppercut to the jaw. You wearing a helmet, I don't care.
It's probably round 12 too, Pat. That's the thing. This isn't just his warm-up. He's probably been doing this for 45 straight minutes.
He's got the long basketball shorts on, long sleeves with a vest. Let's go ahead and sweat this thing out.
He's got the reach advantage too.
On everybody?
Yes.
How many, you think he's got top shelf and bottom drawer there in the mouth?
He's got everything.
Yeah, you think he's in between rounds? You think this is what, round 12 you said?
I mean, Braves may not spit anymore. I know guys that are, good enough to spit.
Yeah.
Just guts it.
Yeah.
Mouth can't get dry when I'm just swallowing Copenhagen.
What?
Bang, pow, 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 bang, pow. What round? Are we doing 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off? What are we doing? This is awesome. He would win the fight of all the coaches, right? Yes.
For sure.
Got to throw Dan Campbell in there.
That's the only.
Got to. Younger,
Similar
and in
body
shape.
types.
Similar mindsets, similar
Yeah.
leading styles.
Drinks a bunch of coffee, too, so he's jacked up all the time.
Now I don't think this guy is in those two's level because they were tight end and linebacker. But new coach, Kevin O'Connell, was like 6'5", fucking 230.
He's quarterback.
That's
though,
what
right?
I'm saying, yeah.
I think Vrabel would be very pissed that you even did what you just did.
I said it wasn't on their level.
No, I know.
We'll clip it. We'll clip it.
Yeah, he won't say it publicly, but when he listens to this, I think he'll have respect that MCDC is on the list. Vrabes wins that one, though.
I think so, too.
No offense to MCDC. I mean, Vrabes, I feel like is just, he's,
I don't know MCDC as well, but Vrabes is definitely one of those guys where you better kill him because he's not going to quit.
He's Ohio, right? I don't know where MCDC is from, but I think
I would imagine MCDC is similar.
Texas?
Similar
Texas
type
is
guy.
what I was
Oh,
thinking.
fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
But naturally, what is it? Tight end
He is
versus
from
defensive
Texas.
lineman. Who wins that battle?
Well, you don't know. It
Yeah,
depends
yeah,
on
outside
the person.
rusher.
I know.
I mean,
That's
before
why it's
Bob
tough.
Saleh lost 30 pounds coaching the Jets, too, he's a big son of a bitch.
And his brother also a big son of a bitch, too,
Yeah.
right? He was
Yeah.
going to fight Rex Ryan.
That's right.
What needs to happen is Vrabes and MCDC each need to drink a 30-pack and probably smoke, I don't know, a carton of cigs and then fight.
Yeah, because then we'll find out who the true alpha.
Yeah.
MCDC stayed with the band that one
That's
time.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, they both need to. They need to play Edward 40 hands with 2 40s taped to each hand.
Yep.
And
Who's
then-
going to piss first?
Why?
I tell you what, if
What a
they're
terrible game for me. I still have the most active bladder of all time. I played that game twice. Hated
So what do
it
you do? You wear
so
like
bad.
loose mesh shorts and just shimmy them down and pee?
No, I just chugged, dude.
diaper.
I just chugged for the.
Eliminate the beers.
Yeah, I had to survive the evening. You can't just piss my pants.
No.
But I got sick immediately afterwards. I mean, those are not supposed to be chugged like that.
No, they aren't.
You know, they were disgusting. Disgusting. Ah.
You
Yeah.
won though, right?
No, I guess in the end, who won?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of those in life. I do believe Vrabel would win. I got Vrabel over MCDC. I think it's going to be a good scrap, though. Mm-hmm. You, AJ?
Yeah, I got to take Braves.
Now, if MCDC puts out a wrecking ball, a punching bag,
We'll
we
reassess.
will judge accordingly.
Yeah.
We're back for hour 3 on the other side with Steve Keim of the Cardinals. Cheers. Boom. He's actually not on the other side. He has a bad lead. He's about 19 minutes from now.
Somewhere on the other side.
Other side.
Yeah.
Bet you we don't
Pat, did you ever have
What's that?
take a break before him because then technically he is on the other side.
At some point on the other side, I guess. Yeah, it is all in the wording. You're right. Good call. What's going on, AJ?
Did you ever have coaches? I've had coaches over my time that if any player came in the weight room while they were working out, they didn't want you in there. Like they got weird and they would leave or they'd want you to leave.
Yeah, I think I would feel weird too. I don't know.
I would, as a coach, I'd want it to be. I wouldn't mind because I'm sure Braves the same way. He's like, no, I work out. It should be a good thing that you see me working out, right?
Well, for me, I never had a coach like Vrabes, right? Like Vrabes is in there with the, not that Chuck wasn't liked in the locker room, but Vrabes feels like he's in the. He's
Coach
like,
Tressel used to be jacking weight in there when he would get on this hammer strength incline bench, and put like 3 plates on each side and kill like 8 or 10 reps.
Rich Rodriguez, now that we're talking about it, I forgot about this, was definitely intimidating and inspiring at the same time. We'd get in there for a 6 a.m. lift or whatever. Rich already in a full lather, okay? Facing the field. So you walk into the gym here, there's the full gym, there's like steps, and then the field's on the other side and it's glass. You probably know that from like 2K or whatever. The West Virginia Stadium, actually pretty dope. I don't know if it's still the same way or whatever. It used to be full glass right here. And that's where all the cardio equipment was, looking out at the field. So we'd walk in there 6 a.m. He had already been in there for who knows how long. And he's just on the fucking, literally just stomping on this calf machine at Stairmaster. And then warm-ups would have to go past him because you do like warm-up sections. So you had to warm up right behind him. Wouldn't even turn to look at you. Just literally as you're walking by, fucking furious. And then he'd stare, make sure you're going hard, and then he'd fucking right down through it. And then one day he finished his session. I don't know how many floors he walked up. Honestly, maybe he might have did 2 of the Burj Khalifa buildings with how fast he was going at the rate he was going. His calves used to be this fucking big. I don't know how big his calves are now, but he grabbed the towel and was not happy with our intensity of our warm-up at 6 a.m. So we had to go fucking run 110s. We had to go run 110s middle of the season on a Wednesday.
Middle of the season?
Middle of the season on a Wednesday. Lift is canceled. We are running 110s because we were not warming up with enough intensity. It's
Lack
like,
of hustle.
well, huh?
Lack of hustle.
Lunch is canceled. Honestly, it's like, well, who are you comparing? Are you comparing us to Urinetown? I mean, it's going to be tough,
Yeah.
dude. 6 a.m. But
He had that planned. He probably had that planned before he even walked in the building that day.
If I smell any beer off of fucking McAfee or anybody in here, I'm going to fucking lose it. But hey, I'll tell you what, it did. Now that you mentioned Tressel being in there and me thinking of that, like everybody was, hey, it's like this is our coach. He will beat the fuck out of any other coach if he had to. Yes. This guy will. So we should pick. You're right, 100% motivating and inspiring. I would assume Vrabel, that's why he's probably the new guys are in there. So he's like, let's get the power on this punch too. Let them fucking know. You know what I mean? If anything needs to let these guys know I still got the hands.
Played in New England.
Not in the Oculus.
We've seen Bill. He's lifting weights, I'm sure, back
not
in
with the team, though. That's the thing.
Well, from the Eagles practice, I believe that was with the team.
So he's just getting in there and squatting with the squad?
Yeah.
GM and the head coach in there squatting. That's awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back in like 2 minutes. Hour 3. Steve, I wonder if he's lifting with the boys, Steve.
Definitely.
Former offensive lineman?
Probably.
Pushing weight.
I bet he is, huh?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he?
Well, if he's not with the boys, he's with Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this? Schrager's Emmy winner, Schrager's told us Steve Keim went on tour with Blake Shelton.
Did he?
Can't wait to hear about it.
I saw Steve Keim at a Blake Shelton show at Ohio Stadium however many years ago, right before COVID.
You did?
Yeah, he was there with Cliff. With Blake Shelton was performing.
That's probably when he was on tour. Yeah. That was when he was on tour.
Yeah, George Strait was like the closer. Blake Shelton played before him. Yeah.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, randomly, Cliff and Steve Keim were there. Yeah.
That's awesome. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, we're back in about 2 minutes. Cheers. And go, wish you would step from that ledge, my friend.
Jumper.
We could
cut ties with all the lies that we've been living in.
And
if you do not want to see me again, I would understand. That's what I'm going to do at How It's Moon. Just slide on the knees with the guitar.
How at the Moon is just pianos usually.
No.
You wouldn't get it.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on this Wednesday, March 25th, 2022. Shall begin immediately following this beat drop from a musician named Twine. Bang! Yeah. Here we go. The Talks to Tables here at Ty Schmidt, at Buster Connor Hammer, Dahn Cowboy Tone Diggs is here, at official AJ Hawk, who's a social media influencer. To my left, your right. We have some possible breaking news out of the New England area. Mm-hmm. We do not have this on 100%, okay? Boston Connor, please take it away.
Apparently.
Allegedly. Potentially.
Maybe. There are players from the Miami Heat organization who are still in Boston because they tested positive for COVID. The Miami Heat canceled their shoot-around this morning, and, I mean, this is the playoffs. Really don't do that often. And also, for the first time, the Celtics are favorites by 2 points in Miami tonight. So there might be some players out, some trainers out maybe, possibly some coaches, but there's definitely something going on in Miami. So I've said this before, hammer the Celtics right now.
So back on the COVID is still existing beat. Jeez. Huh? How about it?
Not great.
Game in Miami. Players, potential trainers, coaches, whoever of Miami Heat still in Boston, not able to travel due to them probably having COVID. Is that what's being alluded to here?
Yeah, that's what.
And how would they have to test negative to travel? How's this work?
I assume that's probably how. But remember with Al Horford was at the morning shoot around the day that he missed the game. So did they test positive before they left Boston 2 nights ago? Did they test positive when they landed in Miami and then they had to cancel the shoot around today? Because I believe it's 2 negative tests, like 3 or 4 hours apart. That's what happened with Al Horford. So he only missed 1 game. So, I mean, there's something going on, though, because they were 1.5-point dogs in Miami. They won game 2 in Miami, and they were still dogs then. And now, out of nowhere, they're favorites in Miami. Does make sense.
John Diggs has a question.
I could be wrong. I am checking right now because I believe when I looked at the odds yesterday, they were -1 in Miami. But I could be wrong. I'm checking to see right now like how much it moved.
Follow up. Connor got this from somebody he knows in New England area.
Yeah, got it from someone that we know in New England. However, a lot of verified accounts have now been sent into same said person's group. So there are definitely people reporting that something fishy's going on down there.
How many people? How many players?
I don't think anybody knows that number, right,
No.
Connor?
Aren't the Heat already dealing with injuries too?
Yeah, Hero missed the last game, but they got to rest some of the other guys who were kind of banged up in the fourth quarter last game.
Yep, it's a wild thing because COVID, right? Not even being chatted about.
Not really.
Not getting into it.
We didn't think they were testing though.
Yeah, with the playoffs,
Yes, it's self-reported, and then is it close contact? Then have to take tests, and then who's deciding who all gets tested, who all is out? Are they suffering like bad symptoms from this? Because then we should learn about that as well. Is there still a ass-kicking COVID out there? Is it coming back? Why is it happening?
Well, and Steve Kerr, because he missed a couple of games because of COVID, he's said he had symptoms after one of the games, got tested, and then he was positive, so he missed the next game. They had like a temporary coach. I don't know if the Al Horford thing went that way because he seemed fine at the morning shoot around, like I said, and then he missed the game later on in that day. So,
and there's still some like the NHL still wearing masks, and some of the media in between periods having to do it. So it's just, I think we're still in this period of time where I would like to know what people know. If I'm in danger every single week when I'm in front of 12,000 people, high-fiving at least 200 of them, should I be thinking about it? If you know any other information, or also are they just, are leagues just going to do this for the entire, like forever? Like, hey, just to be super safe. We never know. Could be flu, could be this, could be that. Is this a new norm that's going to happen in life, I wonder, AJ?
Yeah, like are there going to be other things that keep people out of games other than COVID, like other illnesses?
Yeah, flu game is talked about and heralded as like a heroic act there. Not that, listen, not doing that.
Right. But also,
not getting into that convo. But the flu, also something that's around every single year, does, terrible things. Started during, I think, a pandemic. I think a whole pandemic happened. The way it came into the world was pretty similar to how COVID has come into the world. I know COVID's much worse. Okay, I get it. All right. Listen, I haven't done the studies myself. COVID gave me 104.5 degree fever. I haven't got that. With a flu, where I've had a flu in the past, I get it. But the flu game is talked about as like a great thing. But if you think about it, I mean, he was licking his fingers, taking the ball, passing the ball.
It's a real super spreader.
Yeah, if we think about that, it's a super spreader. Will those days not happen? Because the flu is something that could take down a whole operation quick. Like, the flu, they got the flu bug. Boom, that team got the bug. Bang, they're out for a couple of days, can't be around each other or whatever. Is that just what it's going to be for COVID going forward, I wonder? What if it's not a hard-hitting COVID? What if it's a no-symptom COVID? Does that matter?
What about if it's just like you're in the early stages of strep throat, which is very contagious, and you decide you play? Is that going to be illegal?
Yeah, and do you have to tell somebody?
I don't know.
The world's going to be a wild place here. And I would like to say that I've been on this early, like I'm some fucking genius. getting back into life after COVID going to be an entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just as difficult.
Going to be an entire thing. Like getting out of life there with COVID, where everybody was just kind of parking it, everything was stopped. You don't do anything anymore, okay, except for deliver stuff to your house and
Spray with Lysol afterwards.
Yeah.
get that stuff that Dilfer had done at Lipscomb Academy.
Right.
Bingo.
Do that whole thing, you do that. But also, once people get like comfortable doing that and binging and new routines and the world, and getting out of it is going to be a problem. And I'm not obviously the only human that did it, but I was always fascinated about how coming back into the real world might be so much to people. And I thought for a large portion of it, people were doing great. Arenas are getting filled, stadiums are getting filled. I thought people would potentially be scared to get back into large congregations together, but instead, the complete opposite happened. Like social people were like, I need to go. I need to be around other people. I need to go do something. I need to live. I need to experience stuff. So I think we're in a good spot, but I feel like there's going to be the next 10 years, there's going to be stuff.
It seemed like this season, too, like guys really weren't testing for COVID, and maybe it's just because the games aren't as impactful and we're not seeing it. But I feel like a big part of this was like, hey, we're setting up this new testing system so it doesn't affect teams in the playoffs much. And it's been super impactful in these NBA playoffs. Like several guys have missed games due to COVID, and the NHL too. Yeah. Like I figured that it was set up so that like, hey, once we get to the playoffs, like people aren't going to be testing positive for COVID. It's been the complete opposite.
Paul George, right? That first series,
Mm-hmm.
it started in the entire thing, and now it might be catching up to the Heat. That's what alleged sources are saying with boots on the ground in the New England area. We'll keep our eye on the news.
Have to.
Roger Goodell says the Pro Bowl stinks. What do you think? Do you think that's a shot at them? Are they the ones that decide what the Pro Bowl is? Is that a shot at ESPN? What is that a complete shot at from Roger Goodell? And do you think he's genuinely going to be open to the entire process of making this better? I feel like with the quarterback carnival coming back and skills challenge, the fastest guy came back. Back in the day, the Pro Bowl was awesome. It was in Hawaii. Players loved going to it. It was a full event, a spectacle. There was quarterback contest. There was kicker contest. There was speed contest. There was strength contest. Everybody loved it. It was a big celebration of the year and celebrate, everything that the guys that are at the top of the NFL had accomplished a year. Then injuries happened, I think, to certain guys. The lackluster attempt by the NFL to make it feel as big as it is, putting it on the road and going other places, I think added into it, and guys not caring, guys opting out. It lost its luster. With the challenges coming back, the speed and the quarterback thing, I think they're on the right way. They just need to do what they need to try to bottle what they had before, AJ, and bring it back. And I think the only way you do that is with actual prizes and then actual matches to charity of choices there. And I think you'll get people to come in and want to do stuff.
I think your plan absolutely, I think, is the only way to go. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but yeah, you got to have real money where the guys are all going to want to get in there. Or at least the majority of the guys want to get in there and compete and try to win that money, and then they know it's all also matched and going to charity. It's good for everybody, I think. But I think didn't Ian say maybe move to have a 7-on-7 game or something? I don't think that's the answer by any means.
That has been shot.
That'd be worse than the actual game.
That has been, absolutely buried in our office. I think every time we've actually tried to think about it, because one-on-ones in practice when dudes aren't giving effort is terrible. Is absolutely terrible. They can pick whoever tries harder is going to win. And if they come to an agreement of, hey, we're both not trying, I mean, it's like you might as well it'll be even worse almost. I think
honestly, you know what you could do now too? Like I just thought of this. I just got the vision of old school gladiators with the tennis ball shooter and you're running through, like you have two teams competing with each other, just like American Gladiators almost. Now, guys can definitely get hurt in some of those competitions. We know that, but
put a prize.
Just more things like that.
Put a prize into it. I think if you put a prize with a charity match, like guys will be more likely to give an effort if they know they're going to potentially win $500,000 in a $500,000 donation thing.
And everybody has their own foundations too. Maybe it could go to the charity of your choice.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, absolutely. By the way, yeah, that's
you just got to watch it, make sure that it all checks out.
Yeah, I remember that article. That was.
I mean, people have always tried to take advantage of stuff like that.
So much money some people are raking in off of charity foundations.
Nonprofits?
Yeah.
You work for a nonprofit and you make $1.6 million a year?
Bro, so like the Pat McAfee Foundation that we give scholarships to children and military families, 100% of the money goes to it, obviously, right? 100% of the money goes to the thing, and we were running it. And somebody came to pitch us an idea that had run nonprofits in the past. In the way they were laying it out, like okay, we'll spend like 20% on this for events. We'll spend 14% on this. We'll spend this. And then like, how much is going to the thing? They're like, well, probably about 18 to 19% of the money will go towards the thing. It's like, well, that seems like that's a little bit backwards in the entire. Yeah, but that 18, 19% will be way bigger than what the 100% you're giving, because the amount of it's like, oh, so that's how they sleep at night, probably. You know, that's what they think they can take it to a bigger level. It is wild. Joining us now, this feels like a charity donation to us.
Hell yeah.
There's only 32 of these jobs in the world. Biggest league on the planet, highest rated league on the planet. Only growing and getting bigger. Only 32 people get to decide who is on a team, who is not on a team, who gets a chance to chase a Super Bowl. And this guy's been doing it in the desert for some time at a very high level with a roster that's stacked and what seems to be an owner that's ready to go all in. Ladies and gentlemen, the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, Steve Dahn.
Yeah!
What's up, man?
Fellas, what's shaking?
Hey, thank you for joining us. This is awesome. I mean, I know you're in the middle of a lot of shit, OTAs, league meetings. The fact that you stopped by here, we're very appreciative, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Always been a big fan of the program and excited to be on.
Do you think the fact that you played football is like a massive advantage at the GM position? We were talking about you last hour, and obviously there ain't shit to talk about May 25th, 2022 in the sports world, the NFL world. But just thinking about you being a player and Cliff being a player, and it seems like you two have been kind of attached at the hip. Do you feel like that has affected and helped you in your role of GM?
I think sometimes, Pat, and I would say it's more so in the locker room dynamic, player evaluation side of it. I always sort of equated it to like a boxer. Like, how can you describe what it feels like to get punched if you've never been punched? You know what I mean? So if you've been in the trenches and you've, played with combination blocks and went to the second level and gotten your ass kicked from time to time, you know what it feels like. And I think it helps you a little bit in the evaluation process to be able to, a lot of times guys are hard on players. And I think too hard, where there's too many of these guys playing in the NFL and you have to find something you like about their skill set.
Wow. So do you think like when someone is scouting people, like say you send your scouts out to do reports on so many players, are you trying to encourage your guys, hey, show me like what's good in these guys, what I can do, what we could bring in, and these guys how they could value our team instead of just knocking them? I feel like that's kind of a good point. All we do is try to figure out what someone's weaknesses are.
Yeah, and that's what I try to tell our young scouts all the time. That board goes fast, and the AJ Hawks are gone by the 15th pick. So you have to, as you get to the second and third round, guys have holes, and you got to find what you like about those players, whether it's their mentality, their toughness, tackling in space, whatever it may be. You got to hang your hat on something. And to me, that's where the really good evaluators in our business sort of make their hay. Is in those middle to later rounds where they can find those gems.
I think you also, because you're a former player, you're okay with, hey, let me go get an established player. Like, I'm all right with getting an established player because I think a lot of players have seen, there's a lot of guys that try to make the NFL and it doesn't work. There's a lot of hype that comes with a lot of guys. For whatever reason, it doesn't work in the NFL, whether it's the money, playing against grown men, whatever the case, being a full-time job. Some people just don't transition. You guys have been in the veteran market a little bit here over the last couple of years. How much fun has that been? And I assume the owner, the son, Michael?
Yeah, Bidwell.
Michael, yeah.
Michael Bidwell, now the new owner, it feels like he's like, hey, whatever you need to do, however you want to do it. This has to be like a dream situation, right? Especially with your football IQ and your knowledge over there.
No doubt. I mean, to work for a guy that's just passionate. He grew up around the game. I mean, he was a guy that was, cleaning up jock straps in training camp when he was a kid. His stepfather, Bill, was the owner, and he just gets it. And he is extremely aggressive. When we talk about going to get players, obviously you've seen the videos before. He'll fly his plane and go get them. And it's great to have that kind of passion, again, in a guy who comes to the office every day. So it's been fun. Plus, I live in paradise. I mean, being a PA guy, a lot of the friends back home are like, you like it out there in that Arizona? I'm like it. I haven't shoveled snow in 25 years.
That round mound AQ Shipley says the same thing. I'm like, you're soft. You're living out there in the desert or whatever. He says, call me soft. This fucking place is the best place on earth. He's the reason why I went out there a few times. I love Phoenix. How much of that are you selling to players when you're trying to get them to join the Cardinals? Because right now, it feels like we're entering an era where it's almost free agency for some of these vets. Phoenix feels like a desirable place for a lot of guys. You have to know that and acknowledge that, right?
No question, and that's a built-in advantage that we have. I mean, we know some of these cities have to pay guys to say yes. We don't have to. We can get some of the guys on one-year deals that are trying to make it and try to prove that what their worth is. Yesterday, we signed Darrell Williams, the running back from Kansas City.
Hey, here we go. Here we go.
And then, guys like J.J. Watt, just go down the list of the players that have come out here who have fallen in love with the Valley. Again, it's a tremendous place to live. I mean, being from PA, man, I feel like I'm on vacation every day.
Well, you got a good tan. Hey, the head looks good. You know what I mean? The head, they got a good tan on there. You got a good,
The thing is, every time I watch your show, I have hair envy because I look at Boston Connor, and I love that mullet.
Thank you, Steve. Look at that.
Appreciate that.
Hey, you could grow the opposite, I think, right? Could you right now? You could get
yeah. It would be the Costanza deal.
All right, let's talk about the roster that you have. You guys were able to make a trade on draft night that nobody knew about that was allegedly in the works for a couple weeks. How did that play out? How did nobody find out about that? And was it accurate that that deal would have not worked if it would have got public? How many people knew, and why did you say we need Hollywood on our squad?
Yeah, as far as I knew, it was myself, Eric DeCosta, the GM of the Ravens, their owner, and our owner. And I think it goes back to the less people that know, the less chance it has to get out. In today's day and age, that's pretty rare, as you know. The trade made a lot of sense for a number of reasons. For us, obviously, is wanted to get another deep threat, a guy who can take the top off the defense, 1,000-yard receiver, and then obviously the built-in chemistry that it already has with our quarterback.
Speaking of your quarterback, let's do it. Hey, Eric Burkhardt, 2 days before you got to hit a press conference at the Combine, releases a great piece of content.
Mm-hmm.
Not a screenshot of the notes section. Actually had a header and everything in there. Laid out what Kyler has done for the Cardinals, what they're expecting for the Cardinals, what the Cardinals can do to make said letterhead go away. Then you answer and Cliff answers and say, hey, business, we'll figure it out. Instagram. Kyler takes off. He took off fucking everything he had of the Cardinals. We had to cover it, day-to-day conversation. We're like, oh, well, this is obviously becoming something. He's not at OTAs now. So now the full conversation is the Kyler Murray-led Arizona Cardinals have been very successful. Obviously, you've been leader of the Cardinals at the same exact time. You guys have said he's our future quarterback. He's our future quarterback. He's in our plans. He's electrifying. We all know that. Where does that stand? And do you just assume that that'll get figured out like businesses in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a timing thing, Pat. It's every quarterback that's done it before has done it from anywhere from July to September, and no different for us. I mean, I have to get prepared for the NFL draft. That requires a lot of hours of tape watching, free agency at the same time, and it's not easy. So your time is really taken up in a lot of different directions, and you have to prioritize it. And we know that he's under contract for another year and also the fifth-year option. And he is our future. We feel that way strongly, and I feel like we'll be able to get something done this summer.
I think, I know I am not aware of how often people can talk when it comes to you being a GM and someone's agent for someone like Kyler, who you said is your future. Is it something where when you are in a situation like this, do you guys talk daily, weekly? Like, do you go long chunks of time? How does that work?
Yeah, I think whenever the conversations and I would say the negotiations ramp up, you talk on a daily basis back and forth. I have a good relationship with his agent, Eric Burkhardt. He also represents Cliff, which is a little unusual, I know.
But hey, got a deal done. Got a deal done.
That's right.
You guys are deal makers. You guys are getting a deal done.
But Pat, as big as a wrestling fan as I am, and congrats on WrestleMania, I was thinking maybe you set up a cage match between me and Burkhardt.
Yes! Yes! Let's go. Hey, listen, I don't know what the letter will look like that he'll write afterwards from the hospital, but I got a feeling you will beat the fuck out of him. Good luck with that negotiation. I think everybody in the NFL is looking on because he is obviously a phenomenal talent. How do you guys take that next step, you think? Because the NFC West, hey, fucking problematic. I guess the NFL, you're always going to have to beat the best, yada, yada, yada. The NFC West is loaded, though. You guys have to know that. What do you think it's going to take the next step, and what have you seen from the team that's like, yeah, we're going to get there?
I think it's just putting the second half of the season together and not playing with complacency. Being able to play consistent football throughout the season. Last year, we started off 7-0, as everybody knows, and down the stretch, we didn't play well, and it was a number of reasons, whether it was penalties, errors, guys that we missed being hurt. But you can't make injuries an excuse. So I would just say this: that we have to continue to put it together. Every year, Kyler's continue to grow and get better as a quarterback, and I wouldn't expect anything different.
Cliff Kingsbury seems like a G, man. I mean, he's the coolest guy on earth. He has an incredible house. You guys have Hard Knocks coming to town. I assume he's going to become, could you imagine how big of a superstar Cliff Kingsbury is about to come? He's about to become this whole thing. Why are you guys a perfect fit? And when you hired him, I remember everybody burying you for hiring the USC offensive coordinator for 3 weeks. The guy just got fired after losing to Baylor in the Texas shootout. Right.
No, Cliff is he's as good as advertised. Easygoing, sharp guy, obviously a great play caller. It's tough for me because I have to stand beside the guy. and I tell people all the time, when Bruce Arians was my coach, I looked much better standing beside Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know what a filter looks like. Never.
No.
Has never had to slide anything. There's a couple of Foxy's one of those. Never, ever had to figure out the filter. Ty Schmidt, go ahead.
Steve, obviously, it looks Kyler's going to be around. He's your quarterback of the future. But I can't remember the last time a guy was picked in the first round in both sports. Was there ever any sort of concern like, hey, if this isn't a smashing success right away, this guy might go play baseball?
Well, I mean, obviously he has that opportunity because of his skill set. But, on the time when we went to Norman, Oklahoma, and we visited with Kyler, made it pretty clear that football was his passion and his love. And then as well as, when you do these things, and it was so important to get his contract done before we drafted him with the first pick, is to make sure you have some language in there that protects yourself from the baseball. So there's a number of different reasons why I think he'll continue to play football. I don't know that he'd be really excited to get on the single-way bus driving from Harrisburg to Shamokin, PA.
Hey, he's a great video gamer, though. You ever played any video games against him? What is your relationship like with the players? Are you in there? Are you in the locker room? Are you working out?
I try to get around.
Yeah.
I mean, I gravitate towards the Hogs, a little more generally, the AQs of the world and Justin Pughs and those kind of guys. But no, I love to have a relationship with them all. And I like to ask questions because my thing is I see things through a certain lens, and Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk sees it differently. And I appreciate that, and I can learn from it. That you guys see things differently and see it different from a player's perspective. So I like to take, especially the guys I respect, I like to take a lot of that information in and use it to my advantage.
Hate or love Hard Knocks coming? We just talked about Cliff Kingsbury becoming a superstar. Hate or love it?
Hate it from the standpoint I'm going to have to get on the elliptical a lot here. I'm gonna have to cut the pizza down. I'm gonna have to get in shape to do this.
Hey, throughout that season too. I mean, it's only Thanksgiving. Then there's a lot of.
I know.
Yeah, I know. But they do such a great job of telling the story. Like last year with the Colts, I was watching along. It was great to be back in the building. But obviously, the Colts don't have success, and there's that Hard Knocks curse. And old school football people, they're it's already hard enough to win games. I think it's great for the brand of the Cardinals, which I feel like you guys do conscientiously think about.
Yes, I think it's obviously great for the brand. I think it's great telling the story about our players and different staff members that I think are so gifted and talented. And I don't think it ever hurts to put extra camera in somebody's face to try to get the best out of them.
Oh, because they feel obligated.
When it's no different from if an NFL scout walks out to practice, the pace and the tempo might be a little bit better. You know what I mean? Because guys want to look good on TV.
Yeah, you're going to do what is right. Like, for instance, there is not a single time where I'm in a public bathroom where I don't do a full wash my hands, because there's somebody who's watching me at all times. And I'm like, all right, can't be known as the guy that just goes and pisses and doesn't wash his hands. I act like a better human because I think the person that was pissing next to me is watching me. That's what you're saying with Hard Knocks. You're gonna get the perfect versions of people almost. How did they lose to Clown Town last year then? How?
Can't have it.
It's not about me. That's impossible. Anyways.
Accountability. Helps accountability.
I think so. And what is the culture over there? It feels like got a lot of cool dudes, and I remember.
It's good.
Yeah? Is that something
that
–
a nice mixture of veterans, young guys. I've enjoyed that because generally, and Bruce Arians taught me this, when you have enough young guys around the real veterans that can really play, those guys early in their career learn how to be pros, usually by Thanksgiving of their rookie year, because they watch all the other guys lead and work and how they prepare.
So that's why having J.J. Watt around and bringing him out of the frozen lake he was in Wisconsin that offseason where there was no leaks at all. Like, that's a great pickup for everybody, right? Not just
he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because he grabs everybody and he makes them go work with him. I mean, the guy's in here at like 5:30 in the morning and spends basically the full day here.
J.J. Watt.
Every day.
Yeah. That's J.J. Watt. He's also golfing out there, which you guys can also sell. I mean, his golf photos. Oh my God. I feel like he's in 4 different planets. There's like the greenest grass. Then there's a goddamn mountain. Then he's playing in the middle of a desert. It's like, where are you? Oh, this is just Arizona. I'm like, fuck.
Wow.
Of course.
That place seems amazing. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Steve, do you feel as though your GM style has kind of changed since when you first started doing it? Just because, you added Nuke, AJ Green, Erdster in the season last year, now Hollywood Brown. Is it way less building through the draft than it is today, you think?
I think that's a great question. I think
baby.
Partly adding the veterans and making some trades that you feel like are impact trades are something probably that I've gotten I would just say more excited about, because of the fact that drafting players is always forecasting. You don't have to forecast with J.J. Watt or DeAndre Hopkins or Chandler Jones or Carson Palmer, who I traded for my first year. You know what they can do on the field. It doesn't mean that it makes you a great team. I mean, obviously you develop talent and you put a roster of good players in a locker room, but chemistry is a big part of it, and you guys know that. And until you come together as a team, as one, it really doesn't matter.
How do those big trades start? Like you mentioned Carson Palmer. I would imagine, do you make a call? Do you send a text? Like, do you set it up months in advance? Like, how does all that work?
Some of the whispers start, AJ, and you call the Raiders and see if he would be, really available. A lot of times agents will give you heads up that the team is willing to trade a guy for the right compensation. So Bill O'Brien and I worked on the DeAndre Hopkins deal during the pandemic, which was a little unusual. But they're fun conversations to have.
Jeez.
Yeah, thank you.
Whenever the entire universe goes, they just got D-Hop for a bag of balls.
Yeah.
Like that has to be the ultimate compliment as a GM.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like that's the best compliment as a GM that you could potentially have. And D-Hop, obviously, and Diggs just texted me about this literally right now, and I apologize for doing this, Diggs. You wanted to bring it up, but it's a great conversation right now. He changed your team immediately. Felt like him and Kyler had a connection like that. What great find, what a great deal, what a great addition to your team. Felt like he fit it culturally, shifted everything, took over almost. Games were just like, hey, the largest hands in football will go get the ball. Kyler loves him. As soon as he gets hurt, okay, the whole team looked different. The vibe looked different. On the field looked different. I assume behind the scenes felt different. And that was in the most important time of football that you've already chatted about. You miss him now because of the suspension. It's a two-parter. Were you surprised by the suspension that it came, or did you know does the league keep general managers and such informed? And is that why the Hollywood Brown trade is such a big deal? Because as soon as you lost D-Hop, your team looked completely different.
Well, yeah, I think, the process of him getting suspended, that's something that it wasn't effectively done until about a week after the draft. But the Hollywood Brown train, really, at the end of the day, we felt like we wanted another game changer, another guy who can take the top off the defense. And I think the one thing about Hollywood Brown is, again, having that relationship with Kyler. For me, getting a guy under 2 years of controlled costs, because I think his salary is about to be $2 million this year. We exercise his 5th-year option at maybe $13 million. So you have 2 years of controlled costs, and these receiver salaries are getting out of whack, as you can see. They're getting extremely high, and to be able to get a guy under controlled costs for 2 years is extremely beneficial for us. As you saw, we lost Christian Kirk to the Jaguars, so wanted to find another guy that can be dynamic and play inside and out.
Hey, Christian Kirk, why didn't you should have bid. Weren't you thinking about outbidding the Jags there?
Yeah.
Hey, that started everything. Christian Kirk should feel very good about what he did for the business of wide receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
That became absolutely.
No doubt.
That is,
but hey, Christian Kirk is a great guy. Really one of the best guys around. He is not only from Arizona, which was hard to lose a guy like that's from your hometown, but he is a quality human being.
Great player. And the Jags are like, hey, we need you in here to reestablish whatever the hell we're going to do, and that's a good deal. But it did set in motion all the other, Devontae, and then Tyreek, and then now Debo and AJ. I mean, there has been a full It has happened with the wide receivers. You're going to have to deal with that, huh? You're just going to have to ride the flows of the market is at every position, right? Because it feels like salary cap is only going this way, okay? Salary cap's only going this way with maybe Apple getting involved.
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows who else getting involved. There's going to be a lot of money. I feel like every position is going to go. Do you guys just have to ride the market and ride the waves, or how do you set that?
I would say this, too. The one thing that's interesting that people probably don't talk about enough is your drafting trends. And I started to think about, when you're drafting players and you're building your board, putting more of an emphasis on those positions that are almost impossible to sign to second contracts. The corners, the left tackles, you know what I mean? Putting more of a emphasis on those spots, just because they are so hard to not only keep, but to pay that kind of money.
It feels like the last few years, the wide receivers coming into the NFL have been more NFL ready than they ever have been in the past. 7-on-7s and all the years of content. You think that is going to be a continued trend here?
I don't think there's any question. I mean, what was it this year? We were at 23, and we sort of anticipated the board going like it did. I think it was 5 receivers taken before the 23rd pick.
It's only going to keep doing that, you think, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I do. Because the one thing about it is, and then here's my opinion about this, is there's such a limited amount of talented corners that now all of a sudden you have 3 and 4 wide receiver teams that have explosiveness and talent like I feel like we do. When you get down to your 3rd and 4th corner, it's a complete mismatch.
Yeah, you got to have like 6 corners in this, or you got to have 6.
Right.
Yeah, you got to have 6 members in the secondary that can really lock down, especially in the important games. So that's what you're saying about the draft emphasis on corners and wide receivers and left tackles. Yeah. It's a transition in it, and as being an old meathead, it feels like the game is wide open. Is it cyclical, or do you think this is going to be the game now with the way the rules are?
It's constantly evolving and changing. I would say the rules are good for the athletes because it protects them a little more. Now, the odd thing is being a guy that played in the offensive line, to see a player went through college for 4 years and never once gotten a 3-point stance, that's pretty odd.
You get pissed, I bet. You get absolutely furious.
It doesn't make me happy.
Go ahead, AJ.
Steve, when you think back before you drafted Kyler, like how early on did you know, hey, 100% this is the guy?
So, obviously making that decision after having a coach for 1 year, a quarterback for 1 year, and taking him in the top 10, it was difficult because, your ego gets in the way and you don't want to admit to a mistake. Yet at the same time, it's those opportunities in life when you have to take some risk. And when has anybody ever become rich not taking risks? You know what I mean? You got to be able to put them out there to get something going. And I was watching Nick Bosa left and right, and I fell in love with him, and next thing you know, I didn't even want to watch Kyler. And I started watching him against Alabama. In the second half, he launched 165 off his left foot, and it looked like a shortstop throwing somebody out at home, and it just perfect pass, touchdown. And I'm like, oh shit, I got to take this guy.
I don't know how many humans can do this particular move right here. And then there's always been the flashes of like, oh, this guy is the next guy. This guy is the next guy. I would assume as you guys chat, he has to be like, is he taking massive steps? Does he know that, hey, he can be the fucking guy? Like, I've never chatted with him really more. Do you get a sense that Kyler knows that he can be the fucking guy? Because everybody on earth, I think, believes that right now.
He does. And he's a football junkie. That's the one thing about him. He loves watching film of players, and he'll shoot me texts before the draft, or we'll talk about guys that he likes. And it's exciting because, to me, the great ones, the guys who are really bought in, really have that mindset that they want to have other good players around them. They want to build something special. And again, I think he's that kind of guy.
Great leadership. I'm excited to see what you guys do with him long term. Last question here, Steve. We can't thank you enough for your time. Go ahead, Tom.
Steve, there's been a lot of new GM hires in the last year or two. Do you already know those guys, like building relationships because they've been in the league for a while? And do you have to immediately call them, congratulate them because you may be doing business with them soon?
Yes, we generally I do know most of them. There have been a couple of the last few years that have been hired that I wasn't familiar with, but you get to know them pretty quickly at owners' meetings and those sort of things. But it's interesting because it's in this business it's constantly moving parts, and it's like a turnstile for GMs, and it's getting harder and harder because people's expectations are so high that they don't want to hear about rebuild. They don't want to hear. So you have to make it happen now. And if you don't, you're going to be out of a job.
Yeah, it feels like you guys have taken that, run with that, and you're ready to go. Can't wait to watch your team. Thank you for your time. Where are you at? Are you at the league meetings? Are you over there? Are you back in Arizona?
No, I got back last night, so I'm in Arizona.
Man, you're paradise over there, huh?
Cabo tomorrow.
Oh,
hell yeah.
Good for you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, general manager of the Cardinals, Steve Kahn. Thank you. He's got a good tan. He's about to get better down there in Cabo.
That's where tampering goes on.
What's that?
Cabo, that's where tampering goes on.
Well, yeah, because that's where Stafford ended
Yeah.
up with McAfee.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that a thing, huh? That's probably a thing.
Must be.
Yeah, good for him. I appreciate him joining us in the middle of all this. Old player in that position's cool. I'm always going to enjoy that.
An old grunt, an old lineman, too. A guy that was in the trenches. You're right.
Absolutely. We'll be back on the other side of this break with some phone calls and a 5 Energy phone line to wrap up today. I've said that the last 2 hours. This time I'm actually going to do it. 4 minutes. Thank you to Steve.
Hell yeah.
They're going to handle Kyler. He said, look at the time, okay? Please, fucking A. Everybody does it between July and September. All right?
Hey, so the agents didn't know. He said just the head coach and GM for Baltimore and Arizona knew, but didn't they say that the trade was, like, the new contract was already worked out by the time the trade happened? So do the players and agents not know until it was actually done? I understand how that stays secret.
I don't know.
More on the other side.
Bingo. See you then.
We're appreciative of celebrity fans that come out, but there are just simply some that are like, oh, we're from here, this is what we do, we root for this team. That's not the case here, and that's why I wanted you on here.
Nobody wants to play the Blues in the playoffs. We're a heavy team, we're mean, and we're relentless, and that they don't play hockey like that anymore. Especially the the high flying teams. And all of a sudden the playoffs happen, and you guys see it. The heavy teams, all of a sudden nobody wants to play them. Nobody likes playing the Sharks a couple years ago. Nobody liked playing, the Blackhawks back in the old days, and it's just it's a different beast, and we're built for it.
You know what, Hammer, I love the way you do this. You talk. He knows his shit, guys. I told you this. Like,
And then like the '80s happened, and Hully happened, and Shanahan happened, and Scott. We had so many great players come through our organization that, and lost them in the weirdest, most Byzantine, awful ways of stupid trades and bad arbitration, and and then we lose Shanahan, we get Pronger, and everybody hates Pronger, and then Pronger becomes an all-star, and then we of course we don't win with him, but he wins that Anaheim or wherever he won, and you're just like, we can't. We're snake bit. And then something like 2019 happens, and it's all worth it. So I just been around long enough. Like, that's really it. Through Steiner, I was inducted into the Blues alumni, kind of unofficially / officially. They gave me one of these bad boys.
Oh,
so
look at that! Got you one of these.
I feel pretty strong about that.
Can we see that one more time? That thing was beautiful. Look at that thing.
I genuinely enjoy going to hockey games. I never played. I mean, I played pickup hockey. I can skate. I can go forwards and backwards. But I never really played. I wasn't raised with a lot of money. Hockey equipment's expensive. We're not in Canada where it's like, everybody's got 10 brothers and hand-me-downs and whatnot. I was an only child. I just love the game, and I love talking about it. I love watching it. I've turned my girlfriend on it, and her sister and their friends. They love it. They've become Blues fans. It's like, of course, the first year that they're Blues fans, they win the fucking Stanley Cup, and you're like, okay, listen, this is not how it goes.
You don't know the pain. You don't know the pain. You don't
please let me disabuse you of that notion. Too sweet.
you kind of played the heel at the All-Star game, and I loved it. I loved it. I like, what
the absolute best.
There's quite a bit of backlash from that.
I took a little heat, but I think first of all that it's a ridiculous thing, whatever that thing is. It's like it's a Carrot Top's involved. There you go, done.
Oh no!
I mean, come on. There's literally a ventriloquist dummy next to me. I'm sorry, the credibility is completely shot.
Yeah,
but
John Gumpy's got his request with a sequel to The Town. I have a rather simple, adequate request. I hope, and I'm begging you, I'm asking you, man, please start rocking some underwear more, because you're putting the rest of us out here to shame. These paparazzi pics and everything, and the chatter online. It's a lot, and I'm happy for you, and I'm proud for you.
Hey, look,
you're killing.
We all have our cross to bear, man.
Welcome back to the show. Conflicting reports on our alleged report from Boston Connor moments ago. Somebody in the Heat allegedly has COVID, which is why the shoot-around thing was canceled today, and there are some members of the Miami Heat still in Boston, is the news that was told by source to Boston Connor from area.
Yes.
Other source saying not players from what.
Okay.
So why'd they skip the shoot around thing? This is fascinating. When will this all come out? What's Sean
Con
doing?
mentioned trainers. Con did mention trainers possibly.
And then the shoot around wouldn't happen because possible close contact, so they'd have to test everybody.
Do they still do the close contact testing, I wonder?
Also,
They don't wear like the
Also not
bands,
sure.
do they? That have them all like
No,
I don't think so.
No. By the way, that was not well received, and when it looked back on in history, probably won't be chatted about in a good fashion.
Yeah, definitely not.
People being tracked.
Yeah, definitely not.
Just wearing, hey, yeah, we had to wear a bunch of bands, walk around each other. Yeah, so they
bubble?
could track us. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be talked about. When all those dudes retire, and a couple of them, like whoever the Kevin Garnetts are currently of the NBA, and the Paul Pierces of the NBA, you know, like in the Matt Barnes and the Stacks, in the, you know, the current generation of the, you know, like, hey, this is fucking what happened.
Yeah.
The bubble conversation is going to be fantastic.
Oh,
It is going to be awesome.
J.R. Smith. That's who it's going to be. He was in the bubble.
JR, we're lucky JR was in there.
Yeah.
We're lucky JR was at 4.0, by the way, I think.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
That baby JR.
Terrence Ross.
Terrence Ross, AT Ross will get in. I mean, whenever, like 5 years, 10 years from now, a little bit removed, like, hey, let's have a sit down and talk about what the bubble was.
Yeah.
I can't fucking wait, AJ.
No one's gonna believe it. That's like I was talking to my kids about it. I was like, you guys are gonna be better. You know, you have to get this whole COVID situation. I said, can you imagine like the next generation of kids if you try to explain what COVID was and how this whole thing happened? They're gonna have a hard time believing it. I would think.
That's fucking awesome.
Remember the one guy who got DoorDash like the first night there and just went to the front gate and grabbed it, and they just kicked his ass out of there. He was on one of the playoff teams. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
done.
he went outside to get DoorDash.
Yeah, he went to like the front gate,
He
picked it up
breached.
from.
He put everybody's life in danger.
Yeah, get him out of here now.
What if he tests negative? Don't care.
Doesn't matter. Make an example of
Do
him.
you remember driving past like the exit because we were at the Orlando house and there was cops and you couldn't even go into the facility area or the exit highway?
You guys can't leave. You're playing basketball in there. Okay, we got 2 courts for you.
Yeah.
When you're done, you go right back to your room. Guess what's in there? Fucking hotel food.
That's right. Every night.
Every single night, same menu. You're welcome. Get DoorDash, get kicked out of the bubble. Get kicked out of the bubble, don't get paid, get embarrassed publicly. They're going to talk about that. They are going to talk about that. And obviously, the Lakers ended up the champions.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Remember LeBron's room?
Oh my God.
You remember LeBron's suite?
I do not remember his suite.
Dude, he had that wine. He had like just bottles of wine, corks or bottles of
How
wine.
many golf courses were they? Like they were playing golf and stuff. Like they took over Disney, right?
Yeah, but I think the golf happened like the first week. And then I think it all kind of, I don't know. That's going to be talked about in a wild fashion. But you're right. The entirety of the 2020 year will get talked about. Like, it's a shame. Nobody will ever. We as a people have gone through something together, and I hope we do share that. Because when we try to explain this to future generations, ain't nobody going to fucking believe it.
No.
We're all we got. Mm-hmm. We are all we got.
That's right.
So think about that whenever you see somebody about similar age to you. It's like, well, you fucking remember what it was like. That's
No.
right. You little bastard. You'll never
You have no
understand.
idea.
No. Ask that random right there. How old's that person? Yep, they did it. Go ask
They
them.
know.
Say 2020 to them and see what they say.
You don't talk about that.
Yeah. That's what your parents went through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so fucking go mow the lawn.
And they did the hotel rooms based on seeds. So like the Orlando Magic were the 8 seed, so they got like the basement
In
rooms.
their hometown.
Yeah, in their own place.
In their hometown, their house is 10 minutes away. They got to stay in a 2 double queen motel on the campus. Their menu, I assume, was much worse.
Terrible.
God.
I think Terrence Ross showed him the menu. Showed us the menu that day.
Oh yeah.
Try to send him a barrel of candy.
Oh yeah. Send him just a little tiny little
Just
thing.
a little basket.
How about the other people in there though? Like the other people, like support staff, and then like how many media people stayed in the bubble?
Oh, the media side of
It
it.
got weird. It got weird in certain places for sure.
Well, yeah, it's like a human experiment. In
Yeah.
Staff had to sleep on rides, I thought.
This is biodome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did buy it, though.
They did.
It's a great movie.
It is. It is.
Learn a lot about that movie. You learn a lot in that movie.
You do.
Just like in Succession.
That's right. That's right.
Let's get to the phones. Let's go to 5 Energy phone line. Go to 5energy.com. That's the number 5. The letters HOUR for our energy, ENERGY.com. Use promo code McAfee, MCAFEE for 10% off your order of any of the 15 flavors that are delicious at 5 Hour Energy. Ain't that right, Tom?
Oh, they are delicious.
They taste so good now.
Delicious.
It's the aftertaste. Like, just like any shot, you don't actually taste it. I mean, I guess you can smell it, but it's the aftertaste that gets you for basically every type of shot, both with booze in it and without booze in it.
Right.
In the aftertaste of the 5 Hour Energy, the multiple 15 different flavors they have, so much better than they were at the very beginning. You get the same great energy, even with extra strength, with a much better aftertaste. Shout out to 5 Hour Energy.
Yeah, they're actually delightful to drink.
They are.
They used to be. Not so much.
Not so much. And I think people had that as their first. They're like, yeah, I like the energy it's bringing, but also, that was.
Tastes like shit.
And then 5 Energy was like, you're right. We got it. 15 flavors. Delicious.
They're all big.
They're doing it
AJ,
right.
what's your favorite?
Raspberry.
It's not one.
You got to knock that off.
Yeah. That was this. I told you. It's good.
It's false
Oh, you're
advertising.
beta. I forgot. Yeah, you're the beta. You're the beta of 5 Hour Energy. They're sending it to this pallet right here to see. how's the
BJ
after-
Hawk.
Yeah, that's right. Who?
BJ
Beta
Hawk.
James Hawk.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
That makes you guys feel better about yourself. Go ahead.
No, you told us this was it. This is what it was.
Yeah. I'm like a part of the test group.
That's cool, bro. Sweet. There was something in Morgantown, West Virginia when I was there. Like you could sign up, get paid to be a part of a test group for like medicine or something like that.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they
Do
used
it,
to do those all the time in college.
Yeah.
How many cigs can you smoke and then try and fall asleep?
Yeah, can you sleep for like 24 hours? There's all these testing experiments. I was very I just took out loans. I didn't do it, but I had friends that did go do that, and I was always wondering about the long-term effects of that.
Where was the cig smoking one when I was in college?
I think you get like $80.
You just did it on your-
Some of those actually
on your
paid
own.
very well.
Well, there's also the Amish community does
Yeah,
pay.
you could donate.
That's a good point.
Let's go to the phones.
Anything you want.
Let's go to the 5 Hour Energy phone lines.
What about the Amish?
Well, the Amish are also a work for hire type situation for different things.
That's right.
Seeds.
Straight cash.
Yeah.
Deliver seeds so they don't have an incest
cash
issue.
on me.
I thought AJ was a test group for that too.
I don't know. I'm not 100%
Wait,
sure.
deliver seeds of semen to who?
To the Amish community so they
Yep.
don't have any incest and you
Who
get paid
does?
straight cash. Who?
No, who is doing this?
It was a newspaper article, like it was a part of a newspaper that I seen in Morgantown. You can take a test to do this and get this amount of money. You can go visit the Amish community. And my dad happens to know a lot about the Amish community, right? A lot of woodworking, old Tim, got into the wood business and finished business, had to sell and work with the Amish. We're actually pretty big in the Amish community. Hey, how's it going? In your shed legally.
Shout out.
Legal watching, we get cat out there. We're pretty big there. But yeah, because due to the lack of more people joining the Amish community throughout the times, they were looking for outside seed for a payment. That was pretty good,
Studs would come in and impregnate their wives
I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe.
Feels that way.
actively, like they actually did it, or they gave him a cup with a big frothy load.
Well, don't know. Was not there. Just saw the thing. Started a full conversation. Somebody that I do know did go participate. Came back
Hopefully,
with.
they're not letting these random guys have sex with their wives.
Well, I believe it is a.
You never know.
I don't know, AJ. I don't know. You're gonna have to ask.
Whatever
them.
it takes, man. Whatever it takes. You got to build them barns too. So.
That was quite a wild day in my life, though, when I heard that was happening, and then I was introduced to somebody that did do it, and just the full. Think about me, just full conversation there. I was wild times. You can also go garage sailing on a weekend, too.
That's right.
Make some money there.
You can.
It's always good money.
I do that every day.
Let's go to Austin and Cincinnati. Austin, what's going on? The 5 Energy phone line. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, man. Quick shout out to my doctor surgeon who pieced her arm back together with a beautiful spring line for the brand T-shirt on.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Doc.
But the reason I called is I was on a recruiting trip up to the shoe about 2004. Getting shown around, walk into the weight room. There's Mr. A.J. Hawk, none other. Then he had pink pre-wrap around his head, working out, deadlifting in front of the mirror, and singing and dancing to Bye 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 by NSYNC.
Here we go.
Wow.
Austin.
Let's go.
How many people have you told this story to? This is awesome. Where'd you end up going?
Smaller school, G2. That was a big fish, little pond situation.
Well, we appreciate
But,
your sacrifice for the game. Honestly,
Hell
we
yeah.
do. AJ, that's awesome. Look at that. Lifelong memory, 2004. He's calling in 2022 about his visit to the Horseshoe. He's from Ohio, it sounds like. Got a chance to go visit the Ohio State from a smaller school. Here we go. Legend, AJ Hawk in the corner. Bye, 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 bye. Just another play game to my you may hate me, but it ain't no lie, baby. AJ Hawk.
Yeah, I mean that definitely sounds like me.
That was a banger.
How many people has he told that story to?
I mean, first off, great song. I'm not going to knock the song. I very much enjoy that song, but I told you, like, I'm not a great dancer, so I don't really partake.
My favorite, somebody will tell me a story that they've been telling for a long time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And,
Why would a recruit be in the weight room, by the way? Why would they bring recruits through the weight room
Facility.
like that?
To see it.
What's that?
To see it. What are you talking about? To see it.
Did Ohio State offer him? Do you know?
Doesn't sound like it.
Did you hear this? You hear this guy? Oh, so you're telling me a guy that didn't get offered scholarships a lot in the weight room when I'm in there working out, fucking All-American, national champion, about to
I
be
mean,
top 5
what
pick?
threw it off was the pre-wrap, like the pink pre-wrap. I never put pre-wrap in my head, even when I had long hair, let alone they didn't have pink pre-wrap.
Must have been Bobby Carpenter.
Bob.
Yeah.
Scarlet.
I mean, we listened to a lot of James Blunt. That's what we listened to in the weight room back then.
Oh.
I don't know who that is.
Slow. You wouldn't like it.
You're beautiful.
Yes. He's got a lot of hits.
In the water,
fucking high.
Man, your
Yeah,
weight
there you go,
room,
Con.
your weight room was much
We
different
didn't
than the
need
weight
it
room.
because
that I
we're
was-
intrinsically motivated. I don't need someone on the outside yelling at me. Who's motivated.
Yeah. I don't know. We worked out with Jeezy every day. That's what we did.
Yeah.
We worked out with young Jeezy every single day. Rick Ross came in. I couldn't even have fathomed if fucking James Blunt would have showed up.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. That's your little
It's a good
workout.
change up.
I bet. You do that now? Is that who you listen to in the morning?
If I listen to anything, yeah, I mean, I bounce around to everything.
Listen to anything.
Wow.
He's intrinsically motivated.
That's right.
Well, no, I mean, if I'm not watching something or listen to, like, I usually listen to a podcast or whatever on my headphones.
All right. Chris Mad Dog Russo's on the other side of the 6-minute break. Do you have anything to say to the Sirius XM listeners before we get out of here?
I did not hear Mad Dog, but I saw he was on with Stephen A today. I'm sure he dominated.
I bet he was great.
Mm-hmm.
He's always great.
Always.
He's on the other side of the 6-minute break. We'll see you in about 21 hours here on Sirius XM.
That was a really good one. They'll be clipping that one.
Yeah, I think so. That did sound like a
Oh, yeah.
commercial.
So did Dan Patrick get an Emmy?
No.
No.
Actually,
What?
we had Schrager on, and there's a little bit of an internet thing going about Dan Patrick's show still not winning an Emmy after all these years, and they definitely deserve it. We're on their side. Now, also a fan of Rich Eisen and the Rich Eisen Show and Good Morning Football, so a lot of tough shows to pick from.
Yeah.
Hope they all win.
That's right.
You know what we didn't talk about was apparently the massive audio issues they had at the Sports Emmys.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, there's there's an award show where they do it?
Yo.
What are you, nuts?
Show the photo. Can you show the photo? Good Morning Football. Show the photo. Good Morning. They had a red carpet and everything. What are you talking about? Everybody was stunting.
They like,
Yeah.
I was
the
thinking
fucking
still like a
Oscars,
COVID
dude.
Bro,
situation.
people were stunting. Look at that.
Dressed to the nines.
Wow, okay.
Everybody's there. Literally, he said everybody was there that they were in front of accepting the award, giving a speech for.
Okay.
That's awesome. I can really imagine us all traveling there and going and sitting in the audience.
Yeah.
AJ. AJ.
What?
It's a prestigious fucking award. You hear me?
No, I know. That's what
No,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
bet.
That's what
I
I'm
bet.
saying. You would never be
Did you
near
s-
this building. You know that.
Bro, you didn't hear Schrags in the first hour, so you have no idea. He was out till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Partying.
It's a big
The
deal.
after parties?
Yeah.
50 producers behind
Wait,
the
did they
scenes.
not work? Did they not go on the air this morning?
Oh, Schrags is a fucking gamer. He was on air this morning.
For him.
Yeah, woke
Schrags,
up with
that's
the
how you
two
do
of
it.
He was in a mood too on the show. It was kind of nice. I enjoyed it. Our show, I mean.
I'm happy they won, though. I'm happy that they won. I think that show has obviously revolutionized everything.
Aren't there other categories too, though, where Dan Patrick could have won or whatever?
Well, the Dan Patrick Show. So Dan Patrick has won in the past, I do believe. The Dan Patrick Show has never won. And I think we can all say they've set a hell of a standard on daily show operation. You know what I mean? I mean, the Danettes crew, even though
Pierloff.
Yeah.
he's now with
Mick
Maggie,
Lovin and Maggie.
they still put in a lot of work, a lot of hours. But Good Morning Football has too. So who would we be to judge the winner and not the others? So I hope everybody wins.
That's right.
Next year.
Even being nominated is a win.
Yeah.
True.
Kidding me?
Honor in that.
Getting to be in that building at that thing, what an honor.
Yeah.
What an honor.
Right?
Yeah, yep, I'm sure. I mean, we would fit right in. So yeah, I can't wait till next year.
Imagine us getting nominated, which I think you have to submit yourself for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the networks have to submit, which we are not a part of one. So
Right.
we would, if I would have to basically submit us in to win an award about ourselves. And everybody hears how I talk about this show. There's no way I'm going to say this should win an award.
Yeah.
This show should not win an award. But if we were nominated, okay, if we were nominated, think about how pissed I would be that we would have to fucking go to that thing.
Yeah.
Oh my!
And show up probably like they'd be like, hey, the show starts at 8. We're gonna need you there at 3:15.
To do
You know,
what?
I would love to watch your face.
Yeah, to talk to who? Well, blah blah blah. I hate
Nah.
that person.
Nope.
I'm not talking to that person. What are you talking? Well, we need you here all day for the press beforehand as well. It's like, who are we?
What's going on here?
Are we definitely winning, or are we potential? Well, we can't give away the winners. I'll tell you what. You make me do this whole song and dance,
And I don't win.
and we don't win.
I'm never coming back.
I'm not doing it.
The question is though, I want to see. So whatever, say everyone submits themselves, like they submit clips,
The
right? For these
networks.
people.
The shows themselves, I don't think they. Maybe some of the editors on the show cut the clips, but it's the networks that submit it all.
Yeah, okay. I would like to compare the clips we would send in compared to the other clips. That's what would be the show, I think.
Us
right there.
selecting which clips we should send in is that's a full thing in of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you do that?
I think obviously we have to chat about
People.
you announcing that Aaron Rodgers is vaccinated the other day.
I don't know if they're going to be on board with that.
No, I think that's
No, we
Yeah.
get pick.
no, that's good.
Yeah.
It's also the hardest part because as soon as the show ends, we have no idea what the hell we were just talking about.
Yeah, we kind of go into a zone for 3 hours, forget about everything.
So I don't know how if it's even feasible because we wouldn't know what we just talked about.
Wild times. We ain't ever gonna win one or be nominated.
No.
So everybody that is nominated, congratulations.
Enjoy it.
That's off. We'll never be there.
No, maybe. I mean, maybe
Who knows?
we would like it. Shrek said it was a good time.
That
didn't he?
meal is probably pretty good, I would guess.
What do we have to get all
think?
dressed up? Is it a full song and dance? Everybody got to wear.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure looks like it.
Is
We
this
can
out?
treat it like the Met Gala.
I'm out.
We can treat this like the Met Gala.
Yeah, you get a
It's
custom.
our Met Gala.
Oh, is it an old-fashioned fit-off? Is that what's happening, Gump?
Sounds about right to me, pal.
Yeah, it does,
Sign us up. Sign us up.
All right, I will next year. I'll try to at least. I won't.
We'll see.
There's 0
We'll see.
chance of me
Yeah,
doing that.
I'm good.
Not an AJ.
I'd go dressed as a clown though, just full garb.
That's your fashion, though. Like you're
Like
allowed
John
to-
Wayne
Exactly.
Gacy.
Oh yes.
All right, I guess
From
I'm not doing it
Waterloo,
anymore.
Iowa.
No,
Guess I'm not doing it.
no.
Hi, I'm a Waterloo clown. Call me J-Dub-G.
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that now.
Why not? I thought that's what you were doing.
Well, I guess when the first thought is John Wayne Gacy, I usually just say, okay, I just won't do that then.
Well, you said clown.
Yeah, but clown was the first one.
Wait, balloons?
Yeah.
Well, I think John Wayne
Balloons.
Gacy did do balloons.
Oh, yeah. That's why I guess I'm out because I was thinking about John Wayne Gacy.
Balloon animals, yeah.
Hey, how about you getting complimented by GM of the Cardinals about your bucket?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he watches, I think he watches the show, I believe.
Side note, Goomp looks great today.
He does. He just got his hair did. You know.
Thank you, AJ.
Last cut,
That lineup, Goomp, that high lineup on your cheek.
last cut in America.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Got to try and look as good as possible
Are you
these next
sure?
few days, AJ.
Yeah, he's got to get back by next week.
You need to look as American as you can, Goomp.
Wow.
I
what's that
mean,
I don't know what that means, but
there's,
that
nobody knows what the fuck's going on. I got an email last night. I'm more confused than ever.
This guy's in a blender. He sent the email to me. I was also in a blender.
who was
The
it from?
exact opposite of what we were fucking told last week.
Dude, it feels like these lawyers. I don't know. They like to gossip with each other.
These things.
These things.
I don't understand.
What do you mean?
Right. One lawyer has obviously just bobbled the entire thing this entire time.
Have they admitted it?
No.
Nor will they ever.
What are you talking about? No. But we've paid them mightily. Not as much as Anslant was making off our shit, but we have paid them. We have paid them pretty mightily, okay? They send us an update on what was supposed to happen. Something got lost in their files for 2 months. So there was a deadline that was missed by them. But this needed to be done like 2 months ago. Well, you didn't send it. You literally did. And there's a whole trail of the emails of when they were sent, dates, deadlines, everything like that. So they completely fucked this up. Completely. And I should just say their name, But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Good vibes. I want to be, because who knows whose fault this was. Maybe they have a lot of situations going on and they just fucked up. Whatever the case, they have screwed our guy here. So then we go to a new, we're like, hey, we feel like we're in the middle of this. We got to do this. What do you think we should do? You might at this point, the deadline, when's the deadline? Like next week. They're saying like it's next week. They're like, maybe go back, restart the process or whatever. It's like, well, that's from the beginning. Is this going to be a whole thing again? No, it'll be much more efficient this time. Then last night an email comes and goes, we don't know. We don't know.
From which group?
The new one.
The new one said maybe finish what you started with the old one and see what happens.
Which, by the way, deadline coming very soon.
Yeah.
So we are sticking with the old ones. But there's a very good chance that nothing's going to happen. That deadline's going to come. And now Gumpy's what? A fugitive on the run? What the fuck, dude?
Love that.
I don't.
I mean,
I don't love that at all.
Tony, you fuck.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. What's that all about? Gumpy's been a champion gambler for us.
Yeah.
He's been a champion worker for us.
If he becomes an international fugitive too, and you get fucking Interpol on his ass,
That'd
get
be awesome.
some agents from Berlin over here to take him out.
So I think next Wednesday is by the time he has to be home, if this thing doesn't work or whatever. And by work, I mean I think they just have to file it with a brain, I think.
So there's a chance that he won't have to leave by Wednesday.
Yes, there is
good.
a chance.
Good.
If history tells us anything about this particular set of lawyers.
Yeah. But you're telling me there's a chance.
There is a chance.
The concern is if you saw the file that was sent in the application for the visa, you would know that there is no hope that this thing goes through.
It's almost like they botched it on purpose.
Yeah.
And
Conspiracy? Why?
Well, that's the thing. Are we getting...
They put his legal name as Bubba Gumpino.
My name is Kyle Gump on the application. Like, it's not even fucking...
That's not his real name.
So maybe I don't have to fucking leave because nobody knows I'm fucking here.
Hold on. Just a follow-up.
That's not real.
That's fucking real.
We don't find out about that until months
That's
later.
fucking real, dude. Every email they've ever sent since Kyle Gump, I literally emailed them. I said, my name is Kyle Cathcart, you fuck.
And they say, yeah.
Fuck!
And then we didn't see the thing they sent till months later. Like, you actually filed that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kyle Gump.
You're that Kyle Gump file?
It has been a full comedy of errors. Like,
That alone will mess the whole process up. I know, my full name on my license is Aaron. If someone puts me in for a flight, like if I don't make a flight for some reason, they put in AJ, it throws a whole wrench. I almost don't get on any flight.
So they got the wrong name. They have no idea what deadlines are. And then they just say, yeah, we'll accept your check, though. It's been a fucking full work. We got worked.
I mean, the wrong name, that's a bit concerning.
Yeah, and then us not finding out until, like, way after. I mean,
what is Gump's name, by the way?
Kyle.
Just said it.
He likes Monster Energy drinks and riding dirt bikes.
Fuck off.
Wait, what?
Don't ever call me Kyle.
So you never sent like legal documents to these people?
I sent them my fuck. You have to send your passport, dude. The start of the file is my passport. It says my fucking name. And then the application says Kyle Gump right under the passport.
It is the most
it's abomination.
operation I've ever seen in my life.
At least they got Kyle.
They did.
There's screenshots of my Twitter with fucking ads on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
For what reason?
Because he
to show
that
what
he
I
is
do.
working. So now, not only is this company, these lawyers, not able to get his name right, and we find out months later, they also have no idea what our business is. Yeah. And I don't think anybody in this particular field understands this business. So it's like explaining the modern world to said people who then have to go pitch it to people that definitely don't know.
No chance.
And then they just, it gets lost in the files somehow. It's like, this has been a shit show.
Yeah, train wreck.
So I think this sounds terrible, and I don't want this to happen, okay? We will miss you. But I think you going back and restarting this whole process almost might be worth it with these fucking idiots that we've been dealing with this entire time and paying, which is a shame.
Mm-hmm. Long run, it
makes a lot more sense.
It sounds like if you stay with these guys, all you're basically doing is prolonging them being like, absolutely not.
Yeah, because you can get an extendo. We could probably get an extendo, too, on next week if we really wanted to. I'd assume that's kind of how everything works in that world. But also, like, how much longer are we just kicking a can down the road and getting charged for it?
Because if the application stinks, the application stinks.
It's a toxic relationship.
They ask for more information, but it's like, what are you going to provide?
You couldn't even get my name right. Please.
In fairness, in my phone, he is Kyle Gump.
My
He's
phone is
Gump Canada for me.
Is he?
Yeah.
Never forget it.
Nope.
In
'Cause
fairness, I don't know anybody's name on this whole show.
True.
There's a Gump Iowa too that's in your phone. It's different Gump. What you say, you?
The only name I'm confident with is yours that I know on this show.
We know your name. Tone.
Yeah.
Tone's name is Tone. Connor's name, Connor.
Connor.
Yep. Okay, I know Con.
Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Nick. Frank.
Okay.
Zito.
Nobody knows.
don't know.
That's not it.
See, that's the thing. Now, like if
Billy?
Zito was trying to get into town from Canada, and we had to
Correct.
unravel that story. I feel like we'd be rather, fuck this one. This guy painted ships for 16 years in the same town that he grew up in. This is where he's from. Just fucking, this is where he's at. Check him out. COVID happened. Just let him in. Just let the fucking guy in.
Simple.
We're gonna miss you, Gump.
Yeah.
But,
Nobody has any connections to Trudeau or anyone up there.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
We did talk about, though, timing-wise, it's not as terrible as it could be because it's not football season.
Yeah.
Back before
And
football.
it sounds like if it was done properly from the beginning, you should be able to be back before football season, even though this one has taken a year and a half, 2 years.
And that's the most important thing.
COVID did logjam everything, though, too. That whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
I told him not to use the typewriter.
Yeah.
Just go to the phones. The typewriter's a problem. I mean, as soon as you put it in, you lose it. We're going to miss you, dude. You hear me, Gump?
Miss you, Cog.
It's a good run. It's a good run.
Love you, Gump.
Love you, Gump.
It's a necessity, though, so there ain't shit we can do about it. So you're just going to have to make the most of it, pal. It sounds like it.
Downtown boys are in shambles.
The DTB.
Does this new lawyer have like a high winning percentage? Is that a thing you can ask for?
So this new lawyer was given to us by a much more reputable
That's good.
human, I believe.
Okay.
I don't think the person that got us this first one has been taking the task quite enough.
Oh, Gumpy's been licking his chops to do so.
I mean, let's say the word. I'll let
I'm just in my head. No. I'm not getting into all this. We're not getting into all
Goop, send me a text, Goop.
All right, I already will. All right. I mean, that's okay. We just can't get into it.
I can do it, right?
Well,
No.
I don't know, man. You can do whatever you want. You're part of the show, Just don't steal our shit. You know what I mean? Just don't steal our shit. The thing for today, don't steal our shit.
Mm-hmm.
Thing for today, perspective. What are we dedicating your life to? What are you thinking about? What does the future look like? Shape all that stuff when it happens. Stop stealing our shit. That's the show, I think.
It's a good message.
hell yeah.
AJ, you have a motivational speech to give, or are you just going to sing bye, bye, bye in the mirror like you were in college?
I mean, I know. So if I was in the weight room, in the middle of a performance of Bye Bye Bye, and a big group of recruits walked in, I would definitely continue my performance too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
So it did happen.
Like I said, great song. Didn't happen. Wasn't me, but hey.
Was
good
it
story.
Bob? Was it Bob?
Could have been Bob.
That very well could have been, yeah.
So you two both had long hair.
He said
right?
I was
Yeah.
deadlifting too at the time. Yeah, I mean, I don't deadlift too often. Though. So I'm just saying, there's just not. It just didn't happen.
AJ didn't even put his hands up for Wiz Khalifa 5 feet in front of him. So.
Yeah, I did. There's video proof.
No.
There's a
I
photo.
got a screen grab.
No, yeah, that's what there is. There's a photo of you going, stop fucking. That's all you did. That's all you did. Because we were like, hey, lift your fucking.
Hey, come on.
Wiz Khalifa has told you directly, put your hands up. Put your hands up.
He wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't do it.
I did it.
He also
did
thought
not.
Moranci was going to take a swing at him when he came in so aggressively. AJ's reaction.
Yeah, AJ just had to compliment the jacket 45 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm the only guy talking
looked like
about
Evil Knievel out there,
Yeah, here
man.
it is. Yep. All right, we're out of here. Hammer Don's in 15 minutes at youtube.com/Hammer Don. Let's do one last phone call here on the phones. Let's go to Jake in Arizona. Jake, what's going on the 5 Energy phone line?
Pat, boys, how's it going?
Going.
Hello?
Oh, no.
Keep it.
Yikes.
We don't have
Yikes.
time.
Yeah, just
Patrick. Jake, great to see you. Jake,
Jacob.
Jake, great to see you, man. Great to hear from you over there in Arizona. We were singing the state's praises just a little bit ago. I hope you heard that. Steve Kime was awesome. I don't know if you're a Cardinals fan. Feels like everybody that calls into this show is from a place and they're not a fan of the team that they're a part of. So I feel like they've been giving their takes for a long time against their friends that are fans of teams. That's why they're more confident to call into shows and give their takes because they're used to the natural give and take of that. Are you a Cardinals fan in Arizona or are you not?
Funny enough, I am not, and that's actually why I am calling in today. Shout out my boy Gumpy back there. I feel bad to hear about the situation going on.
Hope you're all right.
Love you, Gump.
I'm representing the fish down in Miami, baby.
Hey, here we go.
2023 Super Bowl champions coming up here.
You like the Dolphins? You're happy with where they are?
Hell yeah, I'm happy with it. This growth we've seen the past few years and these acquisitions we've been making this offseason, how could I not be happy with it?
Okay.
And especially after the announcement of the death of the Patriots, I mean, it's looking like smooth sailing we got here coming up, boys.
That a baby Jake in Arizona talking about Tom E. Curran, boots on the ground in New England, saying, 8-9. 8-9. Does that mean that the Dolphins are going to go? Tyreek Hill was talking about Tua's passes yesterday, I believe, at OTAs. Great quote, great clip. He kind of backed off at the end because it did, sound like a lot of ball describing. And Tyreek Hill was like, hey, I love the guy, but let's talk about this football. Let's keep it in football. Here's what Tyreek Hill said about Tua. Remember, the reason why he's talking about this is because one of the first videos that was posted to the internet from the Dolphins was Tua appearing to underthrow Tyreek Hill in practice. They could have been working on their timing. There could have been a strong headwind. There could have been a lot of things that went wrong, but the internet reacted exactly how the internet would always react in this situation. The Tua haters came out loud. Now Tyreek Hill is talking about his relationship with Tua, and this is what he had to say about his ball.
You mentioned Tua. What do you think of the way the ball comes from him? Tua,
lefty instead of righty, that Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, it's nothing weird. At first I thought it was going to be something crazy, the ball going all over the place, but Tua actually has, probably one of the prettiest balls I've ever caught in my life. So it's very catchable. I don't want to continue because the more I talk, the more it sounds weird. So Tua is a very active quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
He's got great balls. All right.
That's awesome.
Let's keep this
right in real time. In the moment. That's my favorite part.
So Tua's a lefty as opposed to Mahomes being a righty, so the ball turns over the opposite direction. Tyreek Hill, though, was a punt returner, so he's very used to this type of thing with a lefty punter and a righty punter. I assume the only thing they got to get used to is the timing and where the ball has to go. I see no reason why Tua and Tyreek Hill can't just continue to have the same success that Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill had, especially if McDaniel's going to be creative as fuck in the offense like Andy Reid did with Tyreek Hill. You had Waddle in there. Are you guys going to be a wagon, pal?
It's exciting.
Gesicki, great player, obviously.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be a fucking wagon in Miami?
It's time to go. I mean, most excited I've ever been about a Finns team in my my life here.
Hey, Tone, how did you feel about him saying it's the most catchable ball he's ever seen? It's a great catchable ball.
It might be number 2. Because Nate Peterman throws the most catchable ball in history of the NFL, so it's not fucking crazy.
But was it 6 pick sixes in one half?
No, it was 5 interceptions in a half. I don't think they all
total.
went back to the half or went back to the house. But also, I'm not going to disagree with Tyreek Hill because he's fucking yoked right now, and I'm not gonna disagree with him.
Tyreek is?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at him.
Pictures on the internet yesterday. Fucking looking like Tebow when he showed up for Jags.
Just look at his arms in that
terrible
in that
tight
video.
end.
Yeah, but hasn't he always? I thought he has always been
Yoked.
rather yoked.
So he even put a tweet out about it. Like he was pumped about how he's looked.
Oh, hey, I'm shredded right now.
I think he said, "Do I look thick or did I put on?" I can't remember.
I think the most impressive thing about Tyreek Hill, and this is going to be tough to do because he's the most explosive player to ever play in the NFL. I believe that. I might be wrong. I know people talk about Randy Moss. Randy Moss, game changer, my favorite player growing up. Absolute superstar, best wide receiver of all time. He and Tyreek Hill, vastly different football players. Tyreek Hill can literally get out of a phone booth if he had to. Not that Randy Moss couldn't, but he just didn't do it whenever he was playing. It was mostly him taking the top off of defenses. Tyreek Hill's ability for the mid-range jumper all the way down to the go routes to the pre-snap things. He's incredibly impossible to keep up with. His durability, with how explosive he is, with how quick he is, how fast he is, how many times he gets the ball, his ability to miss hits, how often he has, played, I think is very impressive to me. Because every once in a while you'll see him come up limp, and it's like, well, with somebody that's that fast, that explosive, the style of running that he is, that has to be a hamstring, it has to be a quad, has to be something. He has somehow maintained health and continued to dominate in the style that he plays. I think that is one of the most impressive things in my eyes, personally.
Oh, I think it's awesome. Like his durability, when he is someone is that explosive, you would think like, all right, he's gonna have like hamstring, groin, like all these soft tissue things. Also, like your ligaments sometimes. Like when you're that explosive, a lot of times like humans aren't meant to move like that. Like he can move, so your body falls apart. But this dude obviously is super tough and works his balls off, and it shows. I think I love it. I think it's fun to see a guy as talented, as fun to watch as him, but also has that mentality like, hey, I'm not coming out and I'm going to score every touchdown. Every time I touch the ball, I'm scoring.
I assume he put on weight for some reason. I assume he put on muscle for some reason. He had to think of something as he's getting older, like, hey, I might not be the 4'2" guy anymore. I might be 4'3", but there's going to be maybe some different things I'm going to do here. Or maybe he just wanted to get fucking shredded.
Yeah.
Which I respect, and I love both of them. I wish I could look like Tyreek Hill. I wish I could run.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah. Bingo.
How cool would that be?
I can't really imagine it.
Other professional athletes. Like the best athletes on earth, corners.
Yeah.
The hardest position. You have to be the most athletic and everything like that. And he literally has gloves that is just the peace sign.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm going to run right fucking by you. There's people running 4.3s. He's just, see you later. What a life that had to be. Think about growing up, especially in the world that we understand football is, always races.
Yeah.
The person that's the fastest team, by the way, immediately popular, immediately the most pressure on as well, because at any given moment could get tried. He's won them all throughout his entire career in both Little League, Pop Warner, junior high, high school, college, the NFL. Anybody can fucking get it. He has to love practice, love conditioning situations. Just an absolute stud. Good for Miami, man. I'm fucking happy for you guys.
I mean, Leckler, who kicked balls to the fastest people on the planet for 20 years, said, no, this guy, though, is much different.
Have you, hey, Pat, have you punted the fucking Chiefs yet? You guys played the Chiefs yet? No, that fucking guy's different back there now. Listen, you take the snap, you turn right to the sideline, and you punt that ball into the fucking stands, Pat. You hear me? That guy's different. That guy, I punt the ball, maybe one of my best balls of the year, right on the ticks over there on the sideline. By the time I jogged 5 yards down the field, that motherfucker was on the other sideline coming the other way. Fuck that guy, man. Kick the ball directly out of bounds with him. He's different. That was when I think, the eye-opener, like, oh, everybody respects this guy's. Everybody. He's still been able to do it. Nothing but respect for his ability on the field, AJ.
Well, they talk about people that are sudden. Like, he is so sudden, but he also has that straight line speed. The thing about him, yeah, he runs by dudes, but he could be running full speed. It feels like absolutely come to a complete stop, let guys run by him, and then, he's like playing games with them. And then he restarts again, and he's at full speed within a half a step, I feel.
Well, and then he just runs out of bounds, and then he throws the ball to the ref while looking at the people, and then he's just jogging.
Never gets tired, it looks like.
He jogs all the way back to the huddle. He listens for 3 seconds, and then he jogs, and then he's in motion. Then he does it again. Then he stops, and he just and he's just jogging by him. It's miraculous, the athlete that he is.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if even the deep ball stuff really matters with Tua. If you get him in mismatches anywhere, he's the kind of guy who anytime he catches a slant, he could go score right
Which
away.
is what Tua is.
Yeah, the RPO.
Right.
Right? Isn't that Tua's thing? And
Yeah.
Waddle
Get the ball to your playmakers in space. That's what McDaniel wants to do.
Shout out to Waddle, dude. Fucking Waddle's a player.
He's a stud.
You guys on primetime games? How many primetime games for Miami?
No Monday nighters. I think a Sunday and a Thursday.
Oh, that's
No
Tyreek
respect.
Hill 2 times?
Yeah, we even had a Monday nighter last year. It was kind of odd.
Bro, Tyreek Hill only 2 times?
Yeah.
That doesn't
What's
sound
that about? Maybe they'll get flexed later on.
Oh, they'll get flexed.
Just 2 primetime games.
Ain't nobody can watch fucking Dolphins game national.
No.
Nobody's going on to Sunday Ticket give me the fucking Dolphins game.
The Bills and the Pats both have 5.
5?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Gotta earn
What if the Pats are not good? What if they get flexed out of a game?
Yeah, then we'll get
Are you saying that because Tommy Curran?
That's the only reason I'm even asking that.
I have faith in Bill.
Straight shooter.
And that was awesome. That's the thing about the Dolphins is I definitely do think they're good, but for the next 5 to 7 years, the Super Bowl favorite and the MVP favorite are the other team, the Bills. You're not really looking to Miami because of how good Buffalo is.
2 prime. I'm bummed that Tyreek Hill only gets 2 primetime games.
Never gonna see him.
They're gonna get flexed. There'll be a Bills.
No, but if their record isn't.
Yeah, but you got to assume with what.
The Finns do have a tough schedule.
Everyone.
Yeah,
in the
AFC East
does.
is playing the AFC North and the NFC North.
Bro, I love watching that guy play football.
I know.
Let's go. Let's get flexed, huh?
Come on.
Monday or Sunday.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Monday or Sunday. All right, Hammer Don's in 15, 20 minutes at youtube.com/Hammer.
Dahn.
We'll see you tomorrow. We appreciate you so much. I believe we announced all the winners from last week's giveaways.
Yep.
We'll have another giveaway tomorrow. And, think about life. Enjoy it. Let's try to. Because we have no idea what the fuck is going to happen, honestly. So let's try to enjoy our being, our existence here. And I can't thank you all enough. See you tomorrow.